Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Classic Who Zone. It is Saturday. Your weekend starts right here on the TARDIS Zone. I'm only messing. I'm only taking the piss. How you all doing? Hope you are enjoying the weekend. I'm having a good weekend so far. It's actually worked out great. So just before we start the Classic Watch Along, and I bring on guests and stuff like that, send them the links. It's after being 100% confirmed now that the leaks on Reddit were made up by a YouTuber out there. As I suspected from the very beginning when I said there's something up about these rumors, there's something not right. And then as we kept going on and on and on, I kept doubting these rumors, as you know. I had me suspicions that the other side were involved, and the person that runs the YouTube channel is from the other side. So, that person admitted it today. Now, Lee put up a nice little post. Look, a screenshot of their video where the headline of the video is, "We made up the Reddit leaks." So I just want to send a message to the people that keep having a go at me. Where's your outrage and where's your disgust with someone that has actually admitted to making up false rumors? Right? They've actually admitted on a video, the headline of the video admits it too, that they have made up these rumors. So where is the outrage from the people that give out to me when I get genuine source information? Listen, I do not give a flying crap if there are people out there that don't believe me, right? On the other side, okay? I do get source information and I hate liars. And this is why this is annoying me, is because this guy has blatantly lied and he's being patted on the back for it. But yeah, I put out my source information and I say it's rumor and speculation, and I still get it in the neck. But I'm getting source information. That's the difference. I don't care if people out there don't believe me. You guys do. You know the success rate that we have on this channel, right? Doesn't matter what propaganda is out there from other channels or other Twitter accounts, right? You know what's going on, right? But the fact that these guys are not reacting to someone who has blatantly made up lie after lie after lie after lie over the last couple of weeks, right? Now, Lee made the point, and it's a good point. If that was me, right? If that was me that did that, right? And did a video and then came out and told everybody that I was pulling everybody's leg, you know what would happen, right? I'd be absolutely crucified, right? I'd be getting harassed. But this guy, I'm not saying this guy should get harassed, right? But what I'm saying is this guy should be called out. If you're going to call me out, even though I'm getting genuine source information, well, that's on you. But when someone blatantly lies and openly tells people that they've lied, you are all sitting back and staying silent. I wonder why. Because you are all friends. And I know for a fact, listen, I know, right? There's probably... That's one person that's after admitting it. Now, I didn't mention any names last night, as you know, right? And as I said, the idiot would probably oust themselves. Well, an idiot responded and made up a load of lies on Twitter, by the way. Tried to say that I mentioned people's names. But then that person came in. That's why William actually came into the chat. I didn't know what was going on, right? But William watched me whole stream last night, and then he put up a nice little thread last night. So this guy, the other guy that has it in for me, was lying, right? It was only when William went and checked the stream, he realized that this person was talking out of their arse. If I have anything to say to anybody, and the only time I've mentioned you, William, on this channel is when I have found out that you've said something about me, when I defend myself. And that's the only time your name has ever been brought up. In connection to these rumors and me believing that there's someone else behind this, because I do believe there is someone else behind this. Don't worry, not for 1 second do I think you're behind it, because deep down I know you're a nice chap, because you have reached out to me before in the past, but then they all piled on you and then you pulled all your messages. So I know you're a nice lad deep down, right? I know you don't agree with my opinions. That's fine. You're entitled to do that, right? But I know for a fact that we would actually get on if there wasn't outside influences, because there's a lot of Jody fans that do follow me and understand my point of view. Right, well, that's it now. I just wanted to say everything now before I bring the guests on, because I don't want the guests talking about it. So I wanted to get it out of the way and just explain to you that someone has actually admitted out there that they were responsible. They've done a video on it, and the reaction from the other side has been absolutely zero. But yet when I put out genuine source information, and I've put out embargoed photographs, right? Yeah, that YouTube account can say that I've photoshopped shit and all of this rubbish. I don't even know how to use that app, right? And that's the God honest truth. But you all know me anyway, right? So the thing about it is, they could say what they want, right? I know for a fact that I'm not lying, right? I am genuinely getting, but this pisses me off because there's a genuine liar out there spreading false rumor, right? Has admitted it, and nothing has been said. Nothing's been said. But if it was me, I'd be absolutely destroyed for it, like they have been trying to do for the last, 3.5 years since I've been on YouTube, right? They've been absolutely after me every day of the week. But this guy gets off scot-free because he's on the other side, because they're allowed to do all that, folks. Remember, they're allowed to make up lies and rumor, right? They're the ones that are allowed to go and bully people too. Remember, you defend yourself. You're not a victim anymore. You're the bully. You're the harasser. They've switched everything, you see, right? I defend myself, and yet you have idiots out there. Oh no, Third Zone is harassing us. No, tell them what you did in the first place. So tell them what you did in the first place, and the reason why me and you are actually at each other is because you went after me first, right? I only ever defend myself, right? And if people have a problem with me at the start when I first come on, that I start calling these Jody fans J-bots first and Jody bots, right? And if you think that that's harassment, by the way, that's actually funny because it's a nickname. But anyway, if you think that somehow justifies these people coming after me as well because I gave them a nickname, I mean, for fuck's sake, they call us not my doctors, and we're not my doctors. So you see what I mean? Different rule for them, different rule for us. And even some within our own side would actually agree with them and have disagreed with me, right? This is how ridiculous this is all getting. We've literally shown all the evidence of what we've been sent, right? And all of this vile stuff that I've gotten over the last few years. It's ridiculous. Now, listen, this is not me to get a reaction, right? Disaster area. It's not. This is me explaining to everybody that someone out there has actually admitted that they're lying, right? Now, I don't care if the other side don't react, but there is a hypocrisy there, right? Because if it was me, they'd go after me. And I just want to make everybody aware of what's going on in this fandom. So as I said, doing those Reddit leaks was a good thing, because now we could see how far they went to actually lie, right? Go back and watch those videos again, folks, right? Look at how far they were willing to lie, right? To get back at me, right? That's the ironic thing, right? That's their hatred of me is so much that they'll go and make up rumors now to try and discredit me. They'll make up fake accounts, which they've been doing for the last couple of years, right? Pretend that, try and say that this fake account is a Null Zone troll account and it's him behind it, and these idiots will buy it, right? They'll fake evidence as well, right? Again, never using my name or my account, always using a troll account that they've just set up. This is the stupid thing about it all. They'll literally just set up a new account that day, right? and they'll fake evidence on it. They will actually use that new account to text themselves, right? And say, oh, I'm No Zone, or I'm a supporter of No Zone, and you better leave No Zone alone and his wife alone and all of it, right? And then they present that to the other side as evidence of me harassing them, right? And there's idiots out there that buy that. That's all I'm saying. I'm only highlighting the hypocrisy. I'm only highlighting what it is for them. There's one rule for them, guys, and there's a different rule for us. We can't do what they do. They can do anything they want. They can bully without impunity. They can bully without being pulled up on it, right? They can have posts taken down, as I said, right? They can make up rumors. And by the way, I have been made aware, by the way, that there's a thread on Gallifrey Base about me and my wife, and I was sent a screenshot of a sample of it. These people are sick. They're even on Gallifrey Base now, having a pop. And as I said, have a pop at me. You're bringing my wife into it. What's she done? By the way, that's on Twitter. If anybody wants to have a look, just in case anybody thinks that I'm lying, you can go and check out that little screenshot from Gallifrey Base. And that I want to thank the people that made me aware. I won't mention their names just in case someone comes after you, because that's the way it's gone. But I want to thank the people that sent me that screenshot. Absolutely. And by the way, just in case you're saying, oh, it's probably it's someone that I know, it's someone that I trust, 100% trust. So I know this isn't fake. I know this is real. And you know what? Gallifrey Base will want to sort out our platform because there's a lot of abuse that goes on that platform without being pulled up. That platform has become very toxic. Right, while I'm talking now, I'm actually sending the the emails to me guests right now. But listen, I wanted to address this, get this done and over with at the very start of the stream, right? It's done now. We're not going to talk about it as soon as the guests come on. We're going to switch our focus to Doctor Who, Arc of Infinity. So, but I just wanted to highlight it because there is a hypocrisy out there. And as I said, you know, and Lee agreed with me, we've got to stand together now, folks. And, you know, we've got to call this bullshit out. We've got to highlight it. We've got to expose it. You know, I knew there was something up with those rumors. Said it from day one. Do you know what? You just have an instinct. You just have an instinct. Some of the rumors were just too perfect. I even said it. I said one lot gives us everything that we want, and another lot gives us everything that we don't want. And I know what happened there, right? They start giving us what we want, but then they thought, oh, that's a little bit too obvious. So let's now pretend that there's other leakers and let's contradict the other person. And that's what they were doing. And they think that's okay to do. But if that was me, there'd be listen, if that was me, right, I can guarantee this is what would happen, right? My YouTube channel, the video that I did admitting to it, would get a load of hate comments. Yeah? Okay? Right? That's for starters, right? Then they'd find me on Twitter, right, and set up that little chat and harass me, right? Then you'd have the usual suspects, Mr. You Know Who, and all the others coming out writing up big threads on Twitter, giving out about me, and then probably doing little hit pieces on YouTube. That's what would happen, right? Zero has even been said to that guy. Zero. Nothing. Nilch. He's getting a pat on the back. Oh, well done. You fooled all the Not My Doctors. Should be ashamed of yourself for making up rumors. You know, I don't care. As I said, I don't care if you all believe on the other side that I'm making up. I know I'm not. I know I'm not. I know I'm sincere. I know I'm honest. And I know that the information that I'm getting off the people, they're being honest and sincere. Right? But for you to go and do something like that, that's just pure scummy. It is. It's pure. That's what it actually is. It's scum. You can't be going around doing that. I don't care what you think of me, right? I don't care if you believe those idiots out there that keep telling you that I'm making stuff up. that's your fault for being stupid, right? But it doesn't give you the right to go and do things like this. I mean, to make up rumours and get fans' hopes up. I mean, you ought to be ashamed of yourselves. Seriously. And then, you know, one of the persons in question then was having a go at me because I said it was a disgrace and they should be ashamed of themselves, and they were laughing. Well, they should be ashamed of themselves. If you think that's okay, if you think that's acceptable to go and make all of that up. I mean, 4 or 5, they spent a whole week, a week or two, making up rumours and putting them on Reddit, and you think that's okay? And as I said, my little conspiracy theory yesterday kind of upset someone out there. Even though I mentioned no names, as I said, they tried to lie and drag someone else in. And thankfully, that person went and watched me stream and then put up their own little thread to basically say enough is enough. And they watched the video and they were happy. They were watching the stream and they were happy enough that I didn't do what I was accused of doing. See, this is what I will say to the other side. We will be came here for the watch along, not meaning moaning boy off to watch Arc of Infinity. Mad Scientist subs, we always have a little conversation at the start anyway and catch up on the week's news. Everybody knows this before we do the watch along. If you want to come back in 10 minutes time, you may do so, but you don't have to be like that in the chat about it. You know, everybody knows you haven't been here in a while anyway. I haven't seen you in the chat in months, so you can't just come in here now when we've been doing this for months and start giving out because we haven't started the watch along yet. We always have a half an hour conversation before we start. Sometimes it's 45 minutes. We catch up on the week's events, right? Whether it's got to do with the fandom, personal stuff, or whatever it is. It gives us all a chance to get stuff off our chest. Okay, so listen, come on. Listen, I don't want to call people out in my own chat, but look, if you have a problem, then leave, okay? Leave. My channel, if I want to talk about this, I'll talk about it, right? Because I'll tell you why, right? Because it's hypocrisy, right? Because I'm accused of doing this, right? And you've seen all the shit that I've been getting, right? This guy has openly admitted it, right? And nothing's happened, right? He's not even being called out for it by the other side, right? But I get called out. So if I want to talk about it for a few minutes, I'll talk about it. Sick of this. By the way, Alpha, if you're in the chat, I did send you your email as well. I think he did say he was joining us for Classic. Alpha is not here anyway, so we wouldn't have been able to do it because we don't start until all our guests get here. So let's bring on the guests that are here. And I'm sorry, but I'm not going to have that. I'm not going to have people that come in here, right, and start picking on me now, right, because I want to highlight something that I think is very important. And it is important. Because if you've been through what I've been through for the last 3 years, then you'll understand. Sick of this. All I want is peace and quiet, right? I find out today they're on Gallifrey base slagging me off, right? I can't even do nothing. I tried to do these watch-alongs. I tried to move along. And then what happens then? Some idiot then starts making up rumours, right? I start reporting on them because a lot of other YouTube channels were doing the same thing, right? We were doing something different. But of course, they all focused and targeted me, which was strange. And I even said it. Why aren't they going after the other people that are doing the Reddit leaks? Because it was all planned. And so if you think that they're not worth talking about, that they set all these rumors up to get back at me, to get back at this side of the fandom, right? That their hatred goes that far, well then, I'm sorry. This is my channel anyway. If I want to talk for a half an hour about something and then do the watch along, that's what I'll do. Sick of this people trying to dictate to me what I do on this channel and when I should do it, right? The watch along will start in another 9 minutes. Yeah. So if you want to come back in 9 minutes, come back in 9 minutes. If you don't, out the door. Don't need people like you here. Right. Let's bring on our first guest. It's the one and only Queen Charlotte.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
Right, let's just bring you all on first before anybody says that, because someone you might want. I don't know if you want to say anything about what I've just spoke about or the episode, but the story, I should say. Sorry, my head's all muddled here. I mean, I literally woke up to abuse today. It's ridiculous. Forgive me if I am having a bit of a rant, because I'm sick of it. Right, they're even dragging me wife in, and she's not the best, and she doesn't need this. She doesn't even know, by the way. So shh, she's in the other room. But I'm not having that. I'm not having it, man. Right? These people can get away with that, and I get attacked every day of the week. No. Right, Lee. What's it say? Problem being son. No, see, the whole word doesn't come up. Let's see what he's wrote. Oh, it's problem being Sontaran.
Well, if you and Cheryl get a Sontaran named after you, I want one.
Okay. Yeah. Apparently, I'm going to be played by James Nesbitt, which is
That's
great.
Cool. And apparently, the wife, according to this, I mean, it's just ridiculous. But the wife is a transgender. So it kind of. Even if half of that's true, like obviously the name thing is just ludicrous, but like that kind of does fit in with your Sontarans being non-binary, kind of being pretty spot on, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, they look at, they're all laughing at me right now, right? But I tell you,
because it's easier than laughing at themselves.
Yeah. But when BBC actually starts giving information out, we will know what information, source information that I've given out on this channel so far comes to fruition, right? At the end of the day, though, for me, it's not about that anymore. It used to be. I will admit, I used to love the fact that I get pieces of information, right? Because it gave me a boost, because these people were going at, but now I don't care. Whatever happens with the rumors that I've put out and speculation, I've said it's rumor and speculation from the beginning, but I've already gotten some things, the sources, I should say, because they've reported to me, they've already got some things right already this year.
As soon as I saw the Sontaran pictures, I said to you, no, you got it right, didn't I? As soon as I saw them, I was like, right, that's something that's before Series 13's even been aired, we know is right.
And I wouldn't even mind as well. I put up those embargoed photographs on Twitter of the festive special. Now, someone out there is trying to say, right, that I photoshopped that. I literally put the thing.
There is no end to their shame. I mean, like,
I know,
really?
but I put it up on Twitter for everybody to see. I put the photographs up with the post. Like, I literally put the photographs up on Twitter. Then I took a screenshot of the timestamp when I put them up on Twitter. And he's trying to say that screenshot is a Photoshop. But if he actually did his research, the lazy twat, and actually scrolled through my Twitter account, he would actually find the original tweet where I post the photograph. This is where it all goes to pieces. But I'm not even looking. The one thing that this has done for me is this, right? Is that now you know what this other side is capable of, right? So I will say to people out there that have doubts about me and this channel and about our community and about what we're supposed to be doing, if you're not entirely sure, I would urge you, I would literally beg you to go and watch our streams, go and watch the panels, watch the interactions, and you will see we are none of these things that we've been accused of, okay? And you will also find, if you watch the streams that we do on the rumors and speculation, you will hear me say several times during the stream, We're not saying this is fact. It's rumor and speculation.
And all fandoms are built on these things.
Yeah.
All
Now, there are
fandoms are built
certain
on
people
that.
out there, because I want to wrap this up, because I want to bring on the other two lads. But there are certain people in this fandom that have
The
a
gatekeepers.
certain agenda against me, right? They do, right? It's a fact, right? And they spew out all of this nonsense, all of this propaganda. And unfortunately, a lot of you are swallowing it. Now, like the lad that did last night, I won't mention their name again, but like the lad did last night, he went and he actually watched the stream. And then he came to the conclusion that basically the other person that was on Twitter saying that I dragged his name into it was trying to stir it up.
Mhm.
So this is what I'm trying to say to you all. You should all come and watch and listen to us on this channel before listening to or if you have listened to the stuff, come and make up your own mind. Because you will find, because a lot of people have changed their mind, have came here and become fans of this community, have been, sorry, not fans, have become part of this community and have become fans of this channel and the people that we do have on, right? We are not all the things that these people say. I do not, and I can categorically tell you right now, I swear on my life, I am definitely, genuinely getting source information from reliable people. They have proven themselves anyway, my sources. I don't need to back them up because I think they've already showed you all, right? But I trust them 100%, right? And I know when they're giving me information that they're not just giving me any old shite, you know, like what's being made up in these last few weeks from certain people on other sides of the fandom. So I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that now. I've said me piece now. So you crybabies that were crying earlier on, I hope you are happy now. And I'm sorry, but I'm not putting up with this shit either. Right? I'm not going to have people dictating what I do on this channel. This is my channel. I built this up, right? And I have you guys also to thank. You have built up a great little community. But just because we built up this community, there are some people in here that will admit, like Problem being Charlotte and stuff, they can suggest things, what I do with this channel. And they can also even say to me, I don't think we should talk, because they've been here, they've earned the right to do that. Right? But it's different when you don't see someone for months and then they come in and start moaning. You don't have the right to do that. So I'll leave it at that anyway.
Yeah, well said.
Right, let's bring him on because he's real, but he's apparently super doctor. He must be from planet Crypt Gallifreyan.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, wherever it is. How are you doing?
I'm all right. I just had to get that out now. It's done.
Yeah.
I had to throw that out there because it is kind of hypocritical.
See, the problem with these people, they're absolutely jealous because someone's on top of all the news and everything like that, and they're trying to sway you. That's what they're doing, and they're trying to get you to fall for the bait.
And the irony is, it's one of their own that fell for it.
Yeah, yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, and you know what the funny thing about that is that person literally did a whole thread giving it about how I was filled by them.
Yeah.
But in video one, I actually, what did I say in the very first stream when Marty was on when we first got this? I says, I don't know, man. These look too.
Yeah.
They look. Nah, there's something about these. Even when we got the second leaks, then in the second video, I said, nah, there's something definitely up. I kept saying that there's something up. I had a feeling. I just had that feeling. What you call it? But yeah, imagine writing up a thread, taking the piss out of me for doing videos on YouTube about. But yeah, that person's done the exact same. But then it turns out that his friend has actually made up all the stuff.
Yeah.
And then that's when I came up with a little conspiracy theory. And I do believe that this person that spread the rumors, the leaks, is not it didn't do this all by themselves. There's no way that person.
Well, it's probably by osmosis. I mean, it's like the Nestine consciousness, isn't it? I mean, they're all hive-minded.
Yeah.
So
now, as I said, those videos did do those channels. including the guy that made up the rumors, gave his channel a lot of views. Now, if he's monetized, yeah, he's at the basically lying to the whole fandom and admitting it. He shouldn't. Those videos shouldn't be allowed to stay up, because he's actually, you know, he's spreading, as YouTube would call it. And I'm not saying anybody here should do that. And I'm actually trying to speak to the person that's put up the videos, just to let you know you've actually put up misinformation, and YouTube actually comes down very hard now on misinformation. And the fact that you've actually openly admitted on your video and on your video description that you've actually lied, you're in breach of
and actually, personally, I don't have a problem with the prank itself, but pranks belong on April the 1st in the morning.
Yeah.
By afternoon, it's over. You've allowed this to run on for what, a week or something? That means the April Fool is on you, right? Personally, as I say, I don't have a problem with them coming out and admitting it's a joke. But wait. But the most important thing is it's the rank hypocrisy of how they would treat you if you did exactly the same thing.
Yeah, and that's where I agree with you on. And that's the big issue that I just have here, right? I'm kind of with agreement with Lee to a certain extent. Yeah, the first Reddit post on April Fool's Day, yeah, I get it. Fantastic.
Yeah, but for that morning.
Great joke, right? If that was intended to be a joke, actually, I don't think it was a great joke. I think it's actually to do something like that anyway with rumors or
a bit mean-spirited.
I don't think it is a joke, but we'll give him the benefit of the doubt for the first one, right? And say that the first one was a joke because it was on April Fool's Day, right? But every other Reddit leak after that, right, was after April Fool's Day, right? He knew then after the first Reddit leak. This is why now I think, right, at first, prank, but then this is where it gets vindictive, right? Because he would have seen then the response that those leaks got on YouTube channels. Now, I'm not just saying mine, but his friends' channels, right? And his own channel, because he covered them himself, right? And even though in the very first video, people are saying you're joking, he was still serious throughout the whole video and didn't give it away, really. Right?
Yeah, I mean, if you'd done that video, making up a joke, rumor or whatever, or source information, they would have been mass flagging your video and reporting you, as Matt Jones rightly says in the chat there. That's so true. That is so 100% true. They would be doing that.
I'll just finish with this, right? The reason why I think it's vindictive is that after the original so-called joke, he could have stopped there. Everybody his side would have patted him on the back, had a great old laugh, fooled everybody, ha ha ha. And then I would have said, okay, fair play, they did fool it. You know what I mean? In that way. They didn't, right? He's seeing the reaction it got on other YouTube videos, how the views were going up and it was benefiting him and his friends. And that's when he decided to keep going with these leaks. That's what I believe. So after the original one, yes, give him the benefit of the doubt. But the 3 or 4 leaks after that, no, that was definitely him being vindictive. He knew there was something to gain from it. Look at our views, even on my channel, right? I can even admit it. Covering these Reddit leaks has worked wonders for this channel. Look at the views on the videos. You were all interested in them, and he knew that, and that's why it's vindictive, right? At the start, yes, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. April Fool's joke, but the 3 or 4 after that, days after that, no, he knew what he was doing, and that's why I think it's
the thing is with that. It's like you do something like you release something like that in the morning, and by mid afternoon you say April Fool, and that's it. It's done.
That's it.
You don't let it crawl on for like days and days and days and days, because that's not how April Fools works.
No. Right, let's get this watch along down, because I know Charlotte does have a limited time. So I want to bring on our last guest. It's Omega Sontaran. Oh my god! And he's from the planet Gallifrey. What's hold on, what's Sontaran's planet called again?
Sontar.
Sontar, right, so Sontar Gallifrey. No, that one didn't work.
Sontarfrey.
There you go. There you go.
Galatar.
Galatar. That's yes, we'll go with that one. Galatar.
The Invasion of Time Part 2.
Yes. Right. I'm going to get me Arc of Infinity up, and then we can get this show on the road. So, guys, we have you all on the panel. Let's change topic now, as we always do. Anyway, we always do have a little conversation at the start. Anyway, so I don't know what the big deal is. You know, I'm sorry if I did sound a bit. Look, I'm just sick of it all. Right.
And when they go after your wife, I mean,
I have made a genuine effort to move away from drama. I really have. I've stopped. Lee will tell you, I've stopped interacting with people on Twitter. Right, there'll be one or two that I'll get screenshots of, and I'll just throw them up and show people. Look at what they're saying now. That's it. Right, but I won't react directly to them. Right. I've tried to move on. We do the Irish Geek as well. We have these watch-alongs, right? I've been trying to keep away. They keep dragging me name up, keep doing all of this shit, right? They keep bullying me friends. I'm not putting up with it anymore, as I said. It's going to be, as I said, we all need to stand together. We all need to start highlighting all of this rubbish that's going on and what they're doing, because it's wrong. It's wrong. If we did it, all of us here on this panel and people in the chatties would be all crucified until the day you die, basically, because these people would not relent. They'll keep going and going and going. Listen, 3 years, right?
5 years.
Yeah,
5 years.
And it's 5 altogether, but 3 that they've intensified on me since I've been more prevalent on YouTube and Twitter. But it's been 5 years altogether. Lee is right? 5 years of constant harassment, and the same people, by the way, and then new people. Obviously, they make new friends along the way, and then they pop in. But for 5 years, it's been the same people, because they're obsessed and they'll never stop. That's why I call them stands. Right, let's get this show on the fucking road. So I'll ask you all on the panel. Obviously, you all would have seen this story. Do you just want to give brief thoughts about it before we start? We'll start with you, Queen Charlotte, because I know you probably would have watched it before we come on air. So would you like to tell everybody, just brief, without giving too much away, your initial thoughts on the story?
My initial thoughts, I think this is probably my favourite Davidson story at the moment, because I really like the mystery without giving too much away. I think the fact that he really only has one companion for the whole story works with him very well. I think it's more proof that they should have just done one companion with his doctor. And Davidson's acting, there's some brilliant Davidson moments just to show his pure acting range in this. So, like I said, I think this is, because Five Doctors it's an anniversary, so it's got that special spot, but just for a pure Fifth Doctor story, this is probably my favourite so far.
Wow. Alvin?
Meh.
Whoa.
That bad, huh? You didn't like it?
No, it's all right. I like the Time Lord's back. I like Omega back. Like Charlotte said, there's some good Davison acting too. That's my thing.
You don't sound that convinced, mate. Lee?
Yeah, I like this story. I mean, I watched it not all that long ago, so you know, I'm fully sort of up to date with it since I last saw it back in the 80s. I love Omega. I think he's a fascinating character.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Funnily enough, I've been asked to play Alpha, not Alpha. God, here we go. Identity Crisis. No, I've been asked to play Omega in a audio drama.
for the same people?
No, for a different chap. He's doing his own fan thing. So yeah, I auditioned. I got it.
Oh, good man. It's nice
So-
to see you get out there and do stuff. But, yeah, well, I mean, it's audio.
I'm living up to my reputation as being a villain. So, although it's just misunderstood, really.
Well, it's nice to see that you're actually, like, because you're a very talented guy, and I think you do best when you're doing something because you're focused, and once you're focused on something, you become very well, you can become very highly strung out. I've seen it myself. But you're a perfectionist. I love that about you. But like, you will get the job done. So congratulations again. You know what? You're one of the most talented people we have on this channel. Have to be honest. And
That's why I'm so loaded and famous.
Just keep knocking it out of the park, pal. You know, one after.
Well, you know, I mean, it's lockdown, isn't it? Have a bit of fun, you know. But yeah, I do. I mean, I think it kind of drags a little bit in the middle, but I mean, it's got some great moments in there, and you know, Tegan's reintroduced, and she's I think she's pretty good in this story. Davison is on form, is on point. I think it is a classic Davison story. I think it's one of his better stories, definitely. That's me.
Fantastic. Real Super Doctor.
I think it's one of the interesting stories, just as what Charlotte had said about Peter Davison being with the one companion. I think it really works with Nyssa, and without any others being around him. I mean, it helps her character actually develop, and you can actually see that what her place in the Doctor's life is, and at this moment in time, you can see them. They basically get on together, and there's no divide between other companions. And it's like a relationship between the Doctor and the companion is evolving, which should be. And then when Tegan comes back, it's back to all the moaning, it's back to the divide, it's back to separation, it's the companions doing their own thing, and it's while the Doctor is in the centre of trouble and he's trying to work himself out it, and he's not doing it very well. But I think the Arc of Infinity is the standalone episode with one companion with Davison, and it works quite well. And I think they should have just stuck to Sarah Sutton as the companion, you know, and developed it from there. But obviously they didn't, and they just wanted to get Tegan back. And it was basically that since Time Flight, and you seen the departure, you seen that Tegan really wanted to be back with the Doctor after realising when the Doctor had departed in the end, and she realised she lost her job. She realised that maybe she has a life with the Doctor in the TARDIS. But yeah, I think the story is very interesting for the fact that it does raise a lot of questions about Time Lords. Time Lords can die, apparently. And that's later in the Five Doctors, and you see that the Castellan is shot, and he can die as well. They can actually physically die from weapons. And you see in later episodes, but I don't really want to get into New Who, but I don't want to at all. But you know about the general and that, but it does raise a lot of questions about Time Lords and their ability to regenerate. But as Taylor in the opening bit, when you saw Omega and that, and basically you didn't know who this Time Lord actually was that was behind it. And back then in the 80s, you when you probably had seen this episode, you were actually trying to think who was the conspirator, co-conspiring with the Omega. Who is behind all this? we saw the Prydonian robes of what was described in previous episodes with Tom Baker, the Deadly Assassin, the Invasion of Time. You realise that this is one of the Doctor's chapters that was involved in this. So basically, what we saw was this setup, the Doctor being set up for the trap of Omega, basically just taking his bioextract and cloning the Doctor's body and being a host to escape the antimatter universe, which is quite very interesting. And also to notice that the TARDISes seem very generic, like the roundel walls even appear in Omega's TARDIS now, and even the Master's TARDIS in earlier series is the same kind of roundel walls. And assuming that the TARDISes are like that they're all this one design, and it carries on through the entire show, that the interior doesn't change that much and should not change that much, and it should be identifiable with the classic TARDIS roundel designs and console designs. But it's also very interesting that here you have it all set on Earth, and Omega's TARDIS arrives on Earth, and it's just interesting that Tegan's cousin kind of walks right into it. And there's some good performances by the guy, I forget his name, but there's is it Stuart Boxer or something like that? I think there's some good performances in there. But what I'll do is I'll let you know in my review later on.
Right, let's get it on. Thanks for that, Super Doctor, man. That was a great analysis of the story. I like it, man.
Yeah,
I like it. Thanks a lot.
I could go into detail about it, but it's time. It's just like you've got a lot of time to kind of get into the episode and that, and you just want to watch it.
Right, well, let's get everybody in the chat to press 1, and we'll get Queen Charlotte as it is customary on this channel now to do the countdown. So when we see all those ones popping in,
or like some of you tend to say my word before I say it in the chat as like a bit of a.
And welcome everybody, and don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Hit that bell as well.
Oh, I'm seeing a lot of ones. Should I go?
Yeah, go.
Yeah,
I think that means okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Go.
So 5, 4,
Go.
3,
Go.
2,
Go.
1, go.
Go.
Leach is so excited to say it.
Go. Go.
Oh, God, why?
Woo woo woo.
Woo woo woo. Woo woo woo.
Here, have you ever heard the rave version of that?
I've had many.
Oh, it's seriously good. Because obviously I'm addicted to this theme tune, right? And I always look for rave versions of these theme tunes, and the Doctor Who one is actually quite good.
But it's very like Simpsy, isn't it? Naturally.
Yeah.
Matt Smith actually went on live stage with him one time and did it, but he did an earlier version which featured William Hartnell and Susan and Barbara is deadly. Well, that sounded like Pertwee.
What, Omega or
the other guy that's talking to him now? The very first word out of his mouth sounded like Pertwee. Are we watching them with new or old effects? Because
I have no idea, mate, what we'll be watching.
I'm watching with old effects.
like he was real silvery white kind of Omega.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Right. We're watching the old effects then. That just looked a bit. I thought I was tripping balls there.
Well,
Oh,
maybe
for
you are.
anybody that doesn't know what that means, it's an old term that we used to use when people went clubbing and they popped pills. It used to be called exactly what I said, and thought it was tripping balls. Yeah.
See, but the good thing is, like Super John was saying, oh Alpha, I can't remember which one of the lads it was. Like you do see this sort of duplicitous side to the Time Lords. It's not painting them in glory in certain aspects, but not everybody's a villain.
Yeah.
Like you can see the younger one who we just saw, he wants to help the Doctor, and some of the council people. So I like the fact that you can tell the writers trying to say, yes, there's bureaucracy, yes, there's power struggles, and there's backstabbing,
Actually,
but they're not all bad.
I wanted to ask you something. Obviously, with what Super John said about the companion there, Nissa, do you think if they had been given more time to be on their own as a duo, do you think people would have warmed to her companion a lot more than they do?
Yeah, because that's basically what they've done with Big Finish. Like Davidson, he works with all his past companions, but he does a lot of stuff with just Nissa. So you can, and they work really well on Big Finish as well. So I think it's like we sort of said, like Peter's Doctor is naturally a bit softer compared to what had gone before. He was more human. He was sort of the gentleman Doctor. So I think you didn't need abrasiveness so much around him, and that's why Tegan for some people just doesn't work. Whereas Nissa, she's a good support more than I would say Tegan, who's just a bit of a nuisance companion.
Yeah. And I really like Nissa in this.
Well, she has a lot to do, and you
Yeah.
can also I like that you can see her sort of care. Like later on, when the stuff starts to go wrong when they land at Gallifrey, she's very like, no, you can't do that to him, and you can really sense her care for him.
I was saying to myself, why is this so low, right? I just realised I didn't even have the bloody volume up all the way because I'm a tick. There we go. That's better. Couldn't hear what they were saying. And I wanted to hear it both because I have one earphone in and want to hear what the panel is saying as well.
Who's the voice for Omega, by the way? Because that is such a brilliant voice.
Collier, I think it is. I'm not sure.
It's such a lovely, booming sort of like arch villain a little bit, but it's still cultured. Like you can tell this is a being that's very old.
Yeah, I've had to kind of study Omega's voice, so I'm kind of paying more attention to this story than usual because a bit of research for me, you know.
Oh, here we go. Ian Collier.
That's it.
Yeah, that's right.
Somebody said in the chat.
I love how they have a crypt in the front garden, you know.
Yeah.
Just happens to be there, you know.
Well, rich people are weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, mate. If somebody said to me, "Yeah, we're going to kick in a crypt," I'd go, "I don't care. I'll find a street corner. That's probably
Yeah.
more safer."
That's it. I'd rather either sleep on a street corner or inside the shop doorway.
I don't know. It's warm and dry, kind of, I guess. Underground. Not too keen.
I'm not too keen on the Neighbours. That was a direct. I don't know if that was a reference to Neighbours. No, I don't think Neighbours was.
Oh,
around
I
about
think
that
Neighbours didn't come about till what 85 or something. 80
Yeah.
something. I'm not sure about this Time Lord get up. You know, the beige and chocolate. You know, or taupe, whatever you want to call it.
You see, I think that's what Time Lords are like. They're kind of very dour a kind of Scottish term for kind of
Dour.
depressing.
Dour.
dull.
Well, we say dour.
Yeah. And it's basically the Time Lords see themselves as the ones that are higher up are the prestige ones with all the jewels, the gems all over their helmets and everything like that.
No, I like the War
neck
Games look. You know, that black and
Yeah.
white robes. You know, more elegant, simple. You know, these look like 1970s housewife gowns. You know.
I think that what they were trying Robert Holmes was trying to do is he was trying to debunk the Time Lords and make them a kind of like just worshippers and gatherers of knowledge and all that, and seers of the universe and all that. And
Yeah, I
basically
think
that's what he was
they
thinking
kind of
doing.
ruined them a bit with the you know, making this very officious and you know, yeah, officious. I think is the best word to describe it. Really, they're sort of overly not necessarily sort of bumbling politicians, you know, and austere, you know, like the British establishment, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think they kind of lost their mystique, you know, a bit more. I think you run the risk of making them a bit too comical, you know. Which I think
like
they
the
did
Time Lords. I like the Time Lords in this rather than the New Who. I think they're more darker, they're more sinister, they're more politician like.
Yeah.
See, I don't think they come across as bumbling in this. I think it's sort of it highlights arrogance. That's the vibe I get. It's like it highlights how once you put yourself in such a like vaulted position, your arrogance is always going to be your downfall. And it's like the Doctor is warning them. He's like, "Come on, you know this. Think about it. There's somebody," and it's like their arrogance almost is like, "Oh, that's impossible," or they just want the Doctor gone so desperately they will not listen to reason.
Yeah, you know, I just sometimes wish that, you know, particularly in the 80s, that they didn't make them quite so supercilious. I love the way she's looking over her shoulder at him and she like just turn around.
Yeah, it doesn't like try and grab hold of his arm or anything to get him out of there.
Bloody Nyssa, as useful as a sugar spoon with a hole in it.
She's a bit of a spanner.
Yeah. Nice girl, but you know.
Yeah, not a lot going on up there.
Well, you say that, but she's like holding a gun for half this episode.
Well,
willing to shoot people.
Yeah, she does have her moments, but you know, it's whenever she does something like that, it almost seems completely out of character, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit like when Sarah Jane picked up the shotgun or the rifle in Pyramids of Mars. And the director got her to shoot the rifle. That was way out of character for Sarah Jane at the time. even Tom Baker and Elizabeth Sladen were actually so convinced, because I watched on the DVD extras, they were so like convinced that this was wrong that they actually had a bit of a clash with the director. And you could even tell by Elizabeth Sladen and the director, because she was still alive when they did this, that they still kind of didn't like each other over it. So Elizabeth Sladen took all of this serious. Oh, see, he was right. He was right. You didn't want to sleep there and you forced him.
That'll learn ya.
What happened?
Because you never know when a Power Rangers reject villain is going to go and shoot you with something.
Isn't this the story, if I remember correctly, that has Colin Baker in it?
Yeah, as Commander Maxwell.
Yeah.
And this just even more proved to me, like, after him being in this, who on earth thought, yeah, he can be the next Doctor? Because apparently his performance in this, I've heard, whether I've misheard this, was one of the reasons why JNT wanted him. And I'm just like, why?
Well, apparently he said he went up to him during, I think, rehearsals, and he was like, is that how you want to play it then? And he was just like, well, yes. He said, well, could you probably, try and think that maybe you're not the most important person in the room? And then Colin Baker apparently said to him, well, if I don't, then that's kind of not how Maxwell is. Maxwell believes he is the most important person in the room. So I think that kind of stayed with JNT.
Do you think almost then, because JNT famously wanted contrast, I've also heard with his doctors, that if Davidson's doctor wasn't so much of a nicer, sort of softer doctor, that we wouldn't have had Colin.
Yeah.
Like, half the reason we got Colin was because of Peter Davidson's incarnation.
Well, I think JNT had the right idea, that you wanted to throw a sharp contrast between doctors. I just think he kind of over-egged it somewhat,
Yeah, just a bit. Like, I never want to think egomaniac when I think of Doctor, and that's what I think about when I think of Colin's Doctor.
I don't know. I kind of think the Doctor's a little bit sociopathic at times. I think
I little bit. I'm
levels.
with you, but like complete egomaniac, no. God, she looks so uncomfortable. The woman, like. She's got that dress is so heavy she can hardly breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they look really uncomfortable then.
They do, don't they?
Yeah, but again, no strong women in Doctor Who back in the day. They don't exist. Remember?
Yep.
What he's talking about. Seriously, man.
I love this TARDIS console.
I like it when the centre column is moving up very slowly and going down and the lights are flashing. I quite like that.
Yeah.
I don't like it when it's going too fast,
Yeah. Or too wobbly.
Yeah. It was quite wobbly during Tom Baker's last season.
Oh God, yeah. And in Pertwee's era as well.
Yeah.
Actually, through most of it, it's quite wobbly.
I am surprised that we haven't had like a white inside TARDIS yet. Like again, like just as a bit of a nod. I'm very surprised.
I would be overjoyed to see.
Yeah, I think it'd be such an easy, nice thing to do as well. Just not have the whole of it white, but a bit of it, just so it can.
Well, it's kind of grey, really.
Well, I suppose, but everything else sort of makes the grey look a bit lighter, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think when they brought back the TARDIS, the white interior TARDIS for the 12th Doctor's what was it? The not Face the Raven, whatever it was. But yeah.
Oh, yeah, well, he had another one, didn't he?
Yeah, it was too white. It was too bright.
Yeah. Actually, the original TARDIS control room was it was like a kind of very light green.
Yeah.
Because of the black and white, the filming for the black and whites it was when they were filming the console, it wouldn't necessarily come up on black and white film, so they decided to kind of have
green.
That kind of green.
Yeah. Well, that's what they used to do with in the silent movie era. You know, you see all these black and white, you know, femme fatales, and you know they got these glowing white faces and dark lips. And it's, you know, you think, oh, you know, they've got lovely makeup on and probably bright red lips or something. But no, they had yellow faces, yellow faces and purple lipstick. So they must have looked a right sight on set. But
I like this concept, the recall device in the console. I mean, it can recall any TARDIS back to Gallifrey.
Yeah, you'd think that's something that the Doctor would have, you know, dismantled right from the word go. When you're nicking a TARDIS, you want to get rid of that recall device.
Destroy the recall circuit. Yeah, I never got that, actually.
Maybe the recall circuit, if you destroyed it, something would have happened to the TARDIS.
Or maybe it regenerates a new one, so you can't get rid of it. Or something.
Yeah.
Imagine if they did that, say, in a few years' time, right? So Gallifrey is being destroyed again thanks to Muppet, but just say in a few years' time someone decides to bring it back, right? And say the current Doctor is in the TARDIS, then all of a sudden the recall circuit just switches on, brings the Doctor back to Gallifrey, and that's how they find out Gallifrey is actually back. What the hell is this?
In the 8th Doctor audios, they use that idea a few times when he's like halfway through an adventure and he'll just get called back to Gallifrey and he's like every time a grumpy so-and-so.
I love this entrance of the TARDIS.
I like the TARDIS.
Yep.
Here we go.
Where's Colin Baker?
He certainly gets all the fancy costumes, isn't it?
Oh yes, it's a bit like French Revolution, not Revolution, but you know, like French aristocrat makes me think.
Got a nice pair of
Even the way that fella talked about the Doctor. Why are you treating the Doctor like a war criminal? Or like a criminal? Like they do. Some people love the Doctor on Gallifrey.
Yeah, because I think he represents everything that they want to be, but you know, dare not do.
Yeah, because they're not there. Yeah.
You know, because they you know, because the system there is just so oppressive, they just think, oh god, I'd love to be able to do what he does.
I like this version of the police box prop. I think it's a lot better than the one that was last seen in Time Flight. I think the one in Time Flight was just past the point.
Yeah.
It was really falling to bits.
Yeah, I think it's my favourite TARDIS prop, actually.
It's nice. It was a lot nicer looking in when they scuffed it up for I think it was a Modern Undead.
Yeah.
And there was a scene where the TARDIS materialized inside the spaceship in Modern Undead, and when Tegan and Nyssa came out and the Doctor came out into the spaceship, it was very beautifully done. It was very effective.
Yeah, like the weathered TARDIS, and I like the fact that most of the older TARDIS props in the classic era made it look more like concrete,
yeah,
rather than wood. Like police boxes actually were made of concrete.
Yeah, I'm just saying quickly, Sudoku. I don't understand why he's been a bit like this with the receptionist either.
Because he's a misogynist sexist. He's Australian. What more do you want? Sorry, Australians.
See the receptionist in this. I thought that she was that woman the woman that was serving Captain Hart and the Sea Devils.
Right.
Yeah, I think she was a receptionist as well in that.
Career move.
Yeah.
It's because they were sexist misogynist.
I also love how suspicious the Doctor is. Like, Nissa's like, oh, but maybe they're gonna help you, and he's just like looking at her like, you don't know my people, do you? Like, this isn't gonna be a good thing that I'm probably been brought back.
See, the interesting thing about Gallifrey, it was full of corridors, and there was a quote of Davison like with his Doctor always running up and down corridors.
Yep.
In Gallifrey, the wee tiny narrow corridors, they looked like impossible to get through in the designs.
But that was one of the advantages of having somebody so young in Peter, wasn't it? And I wouldn't be surprised if they sort of played into that.
And I love the fact that Gallifrey has very 80s Nouveau Art Deco corridors too.
Well, that made me laugh. Like the council chamber, like you'd think they'd be sitting in some grand things. No, let's just have some chairs that looks like they've nicked from an office for all of them to sit on. I was like, I thought that would have been a bit
Hello,
grander.
I'm the Doctor. Zap.
I see a lot of Tennant in Davidson and bits in this as well.
Yeah.
Like with the sort of, like you said, hello, I'm the Doctor. It's like, no.
Well, it was Tennant that got his idea for the specs from the Fifth Doctor, and because Tennant does wear some specs from time to time, it's like he kind of was like, he wanted the kind of the suit, and they got the idea from Jamie Oliver when he was on Parkinson's about the suit, and the trainers as well. So basically, you're seeing it like a kind of remodeled of the Fifth Doctor for the 10th.
Oh yeah, but I can see little personality, like with
Yeah.
that sort of. He won't think it through. He'll just go up to somebody and say
Yeah.
hello. Like for me,
Yeah.
that's very 10. Yeah.
Younga dungy dun 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 dun. I noticed. Well, I don't think they actually credit Peter Howell for the theme tune, isn't it?
Nope.
Or anybody. It's just quite funny.
Well, it's normally they put on the end credits Ron Grainer, you know, a tribute to
But
Ron
they don't
Grainer.
even have Ron Grainer in the credits. Which is interesting. Right. Well, I'm ready.
I was going to
Part
say
two.
I'm ready when everybody else is.
If everybody's ready, please press 1.
Please press 1.
Please
I
press 1.
know Joker's
Please
pressed
press
1, so he's ready.
That's what I'd like to see.
One. There we go. We got loads of ones. So Charlotte will now do the countdown.
Okay. 5, 4, 3,
Go.
2,
Go.
1,
Go.
go.
Go!
Go.
Boom, ba boom, ba boom, ba boom.
So, do you remember like is it
Oda.
Charlie's cat or whatever it was? Charlie says
Part 2.
But duh.
I'm the Doctor. Yeah, you got
Hello.
something.
I'm the Doctor.
I'm the Doctor.
Zap.
I'm Doctor. Look at me. Doctor.
It's having a kip, love. Mine.
But he looks pretty good, pretty alright by the next scene, where they're like, oh, he has to recover. And I'm like, well, he's sitting on the bed, like, soon, having a drink.
Yeah.
He looks pretty okay to me.
Each and every time the Doctor returns to Gallifrey, there's violence.
His hat's a bit weird, isn't it? It's like a bad fit. I like his one though.
They sort of look like, really decorated cake tins.
Yeah.
Or Easter egg ornaments.
Yeah, or like molds for jelly.
Yeah.
I think the jewels and all that were earned through the Time Lord colleges and all that, and that they had to earn all those jewels and all that. That it's like royalty, as you can kind of put it. The Time Lords are kind of very royalty. They're kind of ceremonious.
Yeah, it's the old imperialism sort of stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
They never said, did they? From what I can understand, but it was pretty much implied.
And the necklaces the Time Lords wear are kind of like personal shields. So every time they get fired with weapons and that,
Why is this pausing?
I was going to say, mine's been behaving tonight. Is yours not?
No. I think Cheryl's watching Love Island or something.
Good lord.
And then I'm streaming as well at the same time, so. Well, here we go.
See, I didn't know she was coming back when I was watching this. And I was just like, what? And then when she appeared, I was like, what? Why are you back?
There you go, Daniel, your favourite. Back with a boob tube look.
And a bit shorter haircut as well.
Yeah. She
Well,
absolutely hated this costume, by the way.
yeah.
Well, I wouldn't know because I'm not at that part yet.
What's the matter with you?
It keeps pausing on me.
Ah.
It's the website me no use. Well, it's the one no use then pass over to me. It can be a bit temperamental. Let's use that word.
So Darko's very happy.
Yeah, I don't know who hates Tegan more, Sudoku or Daniel at this stage.
Let's have a hate off.
Yeah. Next time we get you on stream, Sudoku, we'll have to work that out. Who hates Tegan more?
Right, it's
I used to
officially
look up to her
stopped.
as a kid. What's that?
I said it's officially stopped. It's not working now.
Oh, for crying out loud. Well, if you get it working, I'll give you a timestamp when you got it up.
Well, you're not yet. Charlotte will have to.
Yeah,
give me
I'll have to give the timestamp.
Oh, yeah. Charlotte can do it.
See what they like purple. These Time Lords, some of them.
Oh, they like a nice drink as well. Can you imagine a bunch of pissed Time Lords? Oh, I feel like blowing something up today. Fuck it, yeah. And wake up the next day. I don't remember a thing.
Yeah, it's like check the time map. I can't remember what the term for it is, and it's like, oh, suddenly Einstein invented stuff 100 years later than he. Do you know? It's some bender they did that.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for shooting me.
See, the Time Lords are very bitter for the Doctor running away. We don't really know the real reason for the Doctor running away from Gallifrey. But it's quite obvious that the Time Lords were very corrupt, and the Doctor didn't like their lifestyle, so he decided to kind of run away from that.
Oh, yeah, it was just a rebel. I mean, it'd be interesting if they expounded upon his relationship with Susan. But I guess, some things are just better left unsaid, I guess. I don't know.
But didn't Capaldi, though, in Heaven Sent, he sort of very heavily hinted at it was a mixture of being a rebel and being scared to become like them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was like, get out early so I don't become entrenched too much.
Yeah, maybe he was afraid. Maybe, he was afraid of his own mania, that he would let it get to his head.
Right, Charlotte, give me a timestamp that's a minute past where you're watching, though. So a minute after, So you give me. So wherever timestamp you're on, add an extra minute to it and let me know. Because by the time this loads up, then we should be.
Right. So now that works perfectly, considering it's just turned on 7 now. So if I give you when it gets to 8, that should work. Well, that's the thing with the Doctor. We've sort of said he has got that arrogance. He has got that ego. So maybe he thought, I've got enough in me already that if it stays here for too long, it's going to be attractive.
We've seen him get a god complex, So
Yeah.
it's something he's obviously clearly aware of,
It's like the Doctor is the school truant, and he's always pulling truant. And they don't like that, and they're very heavy-handed, and
he's
they
a
don't like
daydreamer, a wanderer. He's got wanderlust. Look, there you go, Tegan, smiling. What more do you want?
Nah, Charlie, you forget about it. For some weird reason, this second part is just not going to play because even with it, there's just something, I don't know what's going on.
Right, we'll have to just see. Hopefully it works for your part 3.
You should try the link I put in the private chat for DM. It works quite well. That's what the one I'm looking at now.
See, I love Davidson in this moment. He's been quite bold and bossy, I would say, almost, for his Doctor.
Kyung says Tegan Javanka PI. I like the spiky bits on his head.
They're
fabulous.
Jewels.
Bits there, fabulous.
Time Lords are very they love their jewellery and gems and all that. I mean, that's their royalty, I suppose.
Yeah, it's just they're
symbols of Rassilon. I mean, a Gallifreyan does not necessarily become a Time Lord. It's just like they're the kind of workers, and it's like a kind of pyramidal society. The Time Lords at the very top, and where the Gallifreyans and they're at the very bottom.
Well, which I kind of think is a bit too Earth-like. I think Gallifrey should be something so alien to us and so beyond our comprehension. I think that they kind of slipped up with that. I think they should have made them far more than what we see.
See, I think that the trial of the Time Lord. I love the space station idea. The Time Lord space station. Now, what if Gallifrey had suffered a lot of problems? What if it had been a planet of tectonic earthquakes or volcanoes or something like that? Something a wee bit more interesting about the planet that's never been it's never been looked at. What
And
what
it's
if
funny,
it,
we've only ever seen the Citadel, like
yeah,
and the wastelands. There's doesn't seem very much more to it. And then apart from the Tomb of Rassilon, the Death Zone. That's it. I'd
Yeah.
like to see more of the
what
planet.
if it had been suffering from earthquakes and the Time Lords had to evacuate or something like that to the space station that kind of hovered the planet?
Or
a
maybe,
big, huge space station, and the space station had bays full of TARDISes of all kinds.
or maybe to take your idea, but to sort of say, let's say instead of like a natural earthquake scenario, maybe having that much control of time in one place.
Yeah, maybe it's
having the time
too much of all these fractures of time start appearing on the planet.
Basically affect the planet, and sort of the more they do it, the more they use it, this power, they're slowly destroying their own planet.
And maybe it's only held together by the will of Rassilon or something, so he's got his hold over them. That'd be cool.
Well, it's actually something to do with the Eye of Harmony. I think the Eye of Harmony kind of balances the planet out, so it doesn't affect its state. It's in a permanent state, so it will be kind of protected, as it were, to time distortions and all that stuff.
We'll have the Master then do something to it, or somebody.
No, I think he's done enough, don't you?
I think the Master, I think that was totally over the top of destroying Gallifrey like that. I really
no
don't like that.
explanation how.
Yeah.
Anyway, we won't talk about that.
No. I do like the Time Lords with a certain amount of power, but I don't like them powerless. They're impotent to kind of beings and that are easily destroyed. I mean, they're the hierarchy of the universe. They're the ones that see everything. So they
have a time war for however long with the Daleks, right? And then the Master pops up with a bunch of Cybermen and wipes them all out with fuck off.
Yeah.
Anyway, enough of that.
I was going to say, I like how they're trying to, for me, obviously try and say, oh, it's Castellan who's like the co-conspirator.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually like that in this story, that there is this sort of real, who is it, who can you trust, who you can't trust.
But the chair does eventually turn out and you see who it is.
Oh yeah, but it's a fun little guessing game before that, I think, with these episodes.
It's like, if you haven't worked who the Time Lord is by now, you'll never. Because, I mean, it's completely obvious now who it is at this point.
Well, I didn't know at this point.
At this point, you can actually identify with the voice now.
That's probably why I was like, I still don't know who it is.
Enigmatic Joker's got the right idea. Kurt Avon is then teleported from the Liberated to Gallifrey and frees the Doctor. Yeah, that would be epic.
Oh, Dave, I've watched this. I watch it during the day, and then I comment while it's muted playing, so you won't spoil anything.
Yeah, to be honest, I'd be a moany hole as well if I had to wear a boob tube, wouldn't you?
I don't think she's that bad in this story. I will be fair to her. She's got a reason to be annoyed.
Yeah, she's wearing a boob tube. Cold-looking Amsterdam, and shorts.
Oh, I was looking at was it like the TARDIS wiki? I can't remember what it's called, where it's like a fan site. Because I was because I like now to look beforehand to see how many parts, so I know that if I need like literally the whole day to watch it. And apparently, well, because they were filming in Amsterdam, and Peter Davidson was really well known in Amsterdam because of Old Creatures. So apparently, it was a nightmare to film.
Well, you do
because
see
there were
people
so
looking at him
many-
a lot in this, don't you?
That's the thing. Apparently, there was so many like fans in the crowd who were interrupting shots, and I didn't notice it, but apparently it claimed on this website that you can see an actual shot got in the broadcast version of J&T having to like get some people off the screen because they were Davidson fans.
Well, like the scene where he's in the telephone box, you know, you can see people just looking at him like, is that, you know, is that it?
And Daniel, I didn't really have any guesses. I was just enjoying sort of the mystery, if I'm being honest. See, I'm one of these people that I don't really like to guess while I'm watching. I just like to sort of watch it and enjoy the mystery and then get the reveal at the end.
Well, my brain can't help but, you know, work it through. Usually correctly, just fine.
Oh, and that's a good point, Sudoku. Old Creatures was probably better known than Doctor Who at this point, maybe. So, yeah, Davidson would be.
I think they showed it in France. I think it was quite popular in France, but I think they cancelled it there or something. I think. Keeping you up?
No, just reading some shit coming from Baby Balstrek.
Oh, right.
He still hasn't learned his lesson. He's still
he never will.
Sprouting his nasty little shit. I'm sending it to you on Twitter, by the way, so you can have a look there.
All the Time Lords are very
It's only slander, you fucking idiot, if I mention your name. I haven't mentioned any names, you so who's the slander?
No, you can mention people's names. It's not slander by mentioning people's names anyway. It's, you know, just own up to shit, you know, at least if you're gonna, you know, engage in this kind of behavior, what do you expect? You know, it's not slander. Slander is when you say someone did something, you know, bad, really bad.
Exactly,
you know.
But you seem to be getting really, really upset about what I've said. So, like, unless
don't engage.
Unless you've got something to hide. So,
he starts all
the
this
best
shit.
thing in this situation would be for you to keep your mouth shut, but instead you just keep opening it up and you're making it worse for yourself. So you must have something to hide. So, you know what I said? I said it last night. I said the little fool will probably oust themselves. You're the only one that's talking. So shut up. I don't want to hear this bullshit either anymore. Oh, he's going after a kid. That kid is not a kid. He's a fucking young adult and he keeps coming after me. And if he's a fucking adult and he wants to come after me, I have every right to respond to that twat.
No peacocks were harmed in the making of this costume. Everybody suddenly shut up now. Is Nissa in there with a gun now?
Oh, she's done some shooty.
She's just holding it on him right now.
No. She looks very angry. Very, very angry and disgusted. No. Right, this is actually settled down.
Oh, is it actually playing for you now?
Yeah, I'm at the part where the doctor is in this thing now, and there's a lot of shit coming down on his head, and there you go, Omega
Yeah,
has
that's
appeared.
it.
So yeah, as I said, I went a minute ahead of you, so I knew if it kept buffering a couple of times, I'd eventually, if it settled down, I'd catch up. It's a little trick I learned back in the old days when I used to have dodgy DVDs.
I must have a different copy. I have like a fog coming down on his head, not a load of shit.
And to,
Looks like an upside down
tonight,
TARDIS.
Matthew,
honestly.
I'll be.
Judgment has been carried out, Lord President.
Yeah, while I've been watching this as well, I've been reading, even though I've been slightly distracted, I have been reading some of people's reviews of the of this particular story. I have to say, a lot of people being brutal on this, saying it's boring, it's drivel, doesn't go anywhere. I mean, I don't get that from watching it. I have to say, I've quite enjoyed it so far. What about you guys?
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Like I said, this is probably one of my favorite Davidson stories.
Yeah, hold on now. Hopefully we'll be able. Everybody press 1 anyway. Just don't wait for me to tell you to press 1. Just press 1 and then we'll know. I'm just waiting for this to load. Hopefully now I can actually have no problems. But you see, the fact that it's taking this long to load is worrying me.
No dear.
I was working on my icons the first couple episodes. My icons for my on screen there.
Ah.
They're my Doctor Who tattoos that I'm making into.
Oh, you're in the Gary Nerdrotic Club then with the
yes,
wrestler.
I have them.
Go ahead. Sorry, Alpha. I'm just saying. Right, it's loaded, so I'm good.
Yeah, we've got a few ones.
No, but go ahead, Alpha. Alpha, you were saying something there. Go on.
No, that's pretty much finished.
All right. Okay. I like Omega in this story. He's Hedden is played by Alfred himself and the Toy Maker, Michael Gough. Isn't that how you say that?
Yeah.
Gough.
3, 2, 1, go.
Right. Well, everybody's pressed 1, so we will get Queen Charlotte to do the all. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Does everybody remember that bar of chocolate? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No? Am I the
Yeah.
only one?
Yeah, go on.
Right, I must be the only one. Okay, I'm a sad individual. Go ahead. Go ahead,
Okay.
Shirley. I'm just looking because nobody knows that.
5,
Yeah,
4,
yeah,
3,
yeah,
2,
Go,
yeah,
1,
go, go,
yeah.
go.
go.
yeah. I'm on the drugs. Well. Wanna be little losers. Shit talkers and losers. Ooh. Right, well, I better have a look at this effect again. We've got some pink shit coming down onto his head there with a bit of steam.
I'm telling you,
So dry cleaners.
I'm telling you, it was the early prototype for Matthew tonight. I'll be.
Omega's like, you ain't having. I'm having none of this shit. I need that body.
Yeah, but in the end, he doesn't take the Doctor's body, does he? Or was that the original plan, and just because it goes wrong, he doesn't?
Just-
because he makes a
No,
copy.
he gets his body, but it's
Imprint.
the antimatter that can't keep it stable
Yeah.
because he's coming from an.
So he's
antimatter.
basically trapped the Doctor within the Matrix, and that's how
Yeah.
he can only communicate with the Doctor in the Matrix.
Tell Peter just lay there and wave your arms around a little bit.
But it's also interesting the fact that Omega was in the antimatter universe, and how did he get to manage to build a TARDIS to escape the antimatter universe? How did he manage that?
Yeah, true. Because if you're in an antimatter universe, how could the TARDIS actually?
Well, you know, he didn't he invent the whole thing in the first place? So
Yeah.
I guess he could make one in his own universe, and
The Arc of Infinity.
it just happens to look extraordinarily just like Peter Davison's time. What a coincidence!
Even the same color.
Yeah. Well, it's the same with Delgado's master. You know, the Time Monster, I think it was.
I think they were just budget reasons, and
Yeah.
they just
Yeah,
used the.
budget.
At least with the Anthony Ainley master, they painted his black. You know.
Yeah. Only your mind, Doctor.
Enemy barrier. You realize?
It's got a
Matrix
pantomime
is
like
just a bunch of lines.
to it.
He's taking her
keep
down
it
his
on
filthy service passage.
And in a white outfit
So
as
to
well.
speak.
I
What
know. Those stains are incredibly difficult to get rid of.
And I'm surprised she can
Yeah,
even
right.
breathe.
That looks like it pinches.
I tell you, what's going on, man, with the weather lately? I tell you, it's fucking freezing, isn't it? I mean, it's like this morning when I was going to bed, like the football pitch outside was completely frozen over. It's like, I know it's the spring and all this, but I don't remember the mornings being that cold, the mornings and the evenings being that cold.
Nah, not here. I put my air conditioner back in.
Yeah, especially as last week. Was it last week? Yeah, it was like here, like heat wave weather in England. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, here it's just dipped completely. Like, it's mad. It's fucking freezing. Seriously, why did they even bring her back?
Yeah, it does feel a bit like, why?
I think they wanted to bring her back just for this story, and it just turned out that she had been with the she travelled with it. She was going to continue travelling with the doctor.
Well, she didn't stay for much longer, though, did she? Really?
No.
Stayed longer than this, it did. Dun, dun, dun. He is kind of over the top in every scene.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, you know. That's why JT said, "Are you going to play him like that?" You know. But yeah, he's like, well, if Maxwell isn't the center of attention and the most important person in the room, then you know there's no point to this character. Oh, he's having a bit of
Wobbly.
something going on there with his legs up in the air.
Maxwell looks like a Roman centurion or something.
Yeah, he does. Man, the short hair doesn't suit her, have to be honest. I've never it's been the thing with me. Maybe it's just an old-fashioned view. Maybe. And I'll openly admit it's probably an old-fashioned view. But I think women look better with longer hair than shorter hair.
Yeah, I agree.
I just don't know what it is. It just doesn't work for me. I mean, I even think Jodie Whittaker's doctor with a bit longer hair instead of the short little bobby haircut that she has. I think, you know, well, it wouldn't have suited that costume, you see, the hairstyle, I don't think, you know. So they would have had to change the costume. Actually, I got criticised for that as well. I can't even bring up about a costume without being criticised. I mean, I don't like Colin Baker's costume, but I don't.
Oh no, God no!
Jesus Christ!
I'll just say, as the token girl on the panel, it depends about, I think, people's faces. If some can pull off short hair and they look lovely, and others it's like they don't have the face.
I mean, you can't pick and choose what you can or can't criticize. You know, I mean, it's disingenuous to say you can't criticize someone because of, you know, what they happen to have between their legs. You know, I mean, it's just ridiculous. You know, that's just not an intellectually honest argument.
I mean, some people thought McGann looked like an absolute idiot in his costume.
I hated his costume. I like what they did with this Night of the Doctor appearance, but I really didn't like it. I think it was too on the nose. It's like a cosplay of a cosplay, you know.
Well, it was supposed to be the costume for the New Year's party, and he took it.
Yeah.
In the hospital locker room.
Well, originally he wanted to have a black leather jacket, didn't he? Like Eccleston ended up having.
Well, even Baker, a few of them have
And an
said that,
awful
haven't
wig.
they? Classic Doctors,
Yeah.
that they would have liked a leather jacket.
Why was Castellan a bit misogynistic because he called her girl? I mean, that's the way they called women girls back then. It's not still even to this day that happens. I mean, and I don't think it was. He was basically saying, I know you're lying, but obviously she's not. But right, this keeps pausing by the way now again. What is going on with my internet tonight?
It might. I said I've had a smooth run, so it might be your internet, mate.
That's what I mean. I can't understand now. What's wrong with me bloody internet? There, the creature's just at the shooting the bloke now. And it's at the pausing right on the laser. Oh geez, that laser looks shit.
You're lagging behind.
It
now.
is.
Yeah, of course I'm lagging behind. I'm way behind. I'm probably about 5 minutes behind. Hold on, I'll jump ahead. Charlotte, again, same thing. Give me your timestamp and I'll go a minute after.
Right. So when it's going to hit 11 in like 10 seconds, so I'll do it for 12.
Right,
Yeah.
11. So I will put it on 12. No, because by the time you give it to me, trust me, 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock.
So,
Right. There we go. Right, 12:09. I have to do it that way
Sounds like-
because by the time it loads up, it seems to be okay when it gets to the second half of the part. Do you get me? So
Yeah.
the first half it bounces along, and then the second half it's grand. But this has never happened to me. That's why I gave you that site. Like this never happens. I've been able to watch all of Classic Who because of this app, like, and it's always worked perfect.
It's either your internet or having multiple people in your
Well,
house
listen,
doing
we have
things.
Sky Fiber optic broadband, right? We've got the highest speed that you can get. We've got the Sky Q box. The problem is that the management company in the apartment complex that we're in are just too late. The wiring needs to be all sorted out when it comes to the satellite. Even Sky have told us, like, we're not going to get the broadband that we should be getting because of the management company. So I tried to argue the point, well, if that's the case and you can't give me what I'm paying for, well, then why should I pay his full price? But then they argue, which rightly so, well, that's not our fault. We're providing the 100 meg or whatever, the super broadband speed, 360 or whatever it is now, right? But we're providing that. But it's your management company's wiring. They won't let us go in. They have.
Oh, I hate all that back and forth bullshit.
So it's ridiculous.
No one takes
I pay a
accountability.
subscription fee. I pay a fucking monthly. Well,
Yeah, but you're paying them, not the management team or whatever contractors. That's their business. You're paying them the money, so they should be the ones
yeah,
fixing
but
it.
the management company won't let them go in and do the work because the management company would have to pay them that run the complex for them to do the work. Sky want to go in and do the work, but they're being told no, they've been pushed back because the management company doesn't want to pay the money because it'll cost them a good few quid for them to sort all of that out. Like, you see, as I said, it's working grand now. There's Tegan and the doctor with Omega there in the floaty.
Yeah, he's just materialised back into Gallifrey.
And to give credit to Tegan, like she did tell him a massive clue when it was like he's probably going to kill you for that.
Well,
Like,
in
or he's gonna-
fairness, she's not she is toned down in this story. Yeah, who said it earlier? Someone said it
I think
earlier.
Sudoku did in the chat.
Yeah, she is toned down in this.
Yeah, I said that when
But
we
still,
started.
it's. I think because we've seen her non-stop moaning, I think fans at that stage were just like, nah. Like even Nissa, in fairness, like yeah, she's done a bit in this, but
Poor Colin though, he looks like me after a Friday night.
Goodbye, Doctor. Goodbye. Wait!
The lines are out.
I'm floating in the air.
God, you're still behind.
It doesn't matter. He's materialized now. It doesn't matter. You just have to wait because, like, you know, I don't want to touch it now because if I touch it, it'll probably
It'll
off again.
fuck up.
Seriously, because I'm actually really enjoying this story. It's actually annoying me, man.
Mm.
See, you'd never had that problem with videos, or
It'd be
You can see they're
grand.
in the future because I got green plastic paper.
I'll figure out something. There has to be something with that BritBox, man, because there's no way it shouldn't be still working if it works for. Nah, I'll figure it out. Oh, there he is.
VPN. Get a VPN. Yeah, pure luck.
I love the grin as well he has when he says it.
Yeah.
They ever had a Castellan that hasn't been a jerk?
Yeah, right. It's like Castellan. Oh, you're a Castellan, are you? Oh, you must be a right arsehole. Because they're always duplicitous, bastards on it.
That's what I was trying to think back and said, is there any that's been a real good guy or no?
That's always the Castellan, isn't it? It's like, oh, it's a piece of shit.
Not the mind probe.
Still, it's not as much of a toady as the one from the Invasion of Time. He was so obsequious. It was just, oh god.
And also the whole way through watching this, I can remember thinking, the character who helps the Doctor, the younger chap, something's not very nice is going to happen to you. Just like that's just the rule of classic. That you get a nice character who's sort of helpful. Something tends to always happen to them.
You're right.
He's like the red shirt ensigns in Star Trek.
Yeah, I was getting like really big warnings in my head, like, oh, please don't kill him off last episode.
So I love watching Marie Claire's world. Like she does reaction to Classic Who, and she's always like falling in love with the handsome, dashing chaps, and always will end up being killed. And she's like every time she's like, I hope this one doesn't get killed off.
Yeah, that's what I've learned now. Like if I like a character in Classic, I'm like, don't.
Yeah,
Because
No, they're always going to die. Yeah, it's like even some of the female characters that they bring in, and like you're like, oh no, don't get attached to that one because she'd be dead. She'd be dead. Sure, she won't travel with the Doctor. So she's going to be dead by the end of it.
well, I know they're not going to travel. I'm just like, oh, please don't kill them.
It's like my sexy Nazi from Remembrance of the Daleks. Because he'll be dead.
Nissa with a gun again.
Gallifrey has those big screen TVs.
to me, Gallifrey
That's
always seems
shot.
a very dangerous place. Every time the Doctor comes back.
Well, it's like Game of Thrones, isn't it? Before Game of Thrones.
Oh, there's the bad guy.
Nissa being a badass. Nice moustache.
Right, how far am I actually behind?
I couldn't tell you.
Right. What's your what time are you on now?
It's very small on this TV. Hold on. It's 18 minutes and 18 minutes, something seconds, 58 seconds.
Well, you're about 2 to 3 minutes
Yeah, I'm
behind
on
them.
20.
Yep, exactly to the second.
Yeah.
Right. There you go. I'm on 20. Okay. This is a lot of bollocks, but okay.
Love that 80s couch. Fabulous.
You forget yourself. Oh, someone's already pressed 1, so they must be at the end of the episode. Well, forgive me, you'll have to wait. Because I'm actually enjoying this. It's annoying me that I can't catch up.
You'll have to watch it in your own time afterwards. No, I'll just watch it without us and maybe other stuff.
Well, I mean,
making
I've seen it. Obviously, I've seen it before, but you know, still though, when I do these, I want to be able to fucking watch. Jesus.
I'd like to be able to hear it.
But I also love how, and I've noticed this a lot in Classic, like the Doctor, whenever he appears in Gallifrey, they don't trust him. He's sort of on the back foot,
Yeah.
and then by the end of the story, he's like commanding the room.
Yeah.
But that happens every time in Classic, and I sort of love that.
Omega.
And it's because also he doesn't like try and jockey to get into that position. He just naturally assumes it by the end.
And once again, they want him to be president of Gallifrey.
It's a bit cuckoo.
Dun, dun, dun.
And Idiot's about to do something idiotic.
See, he was just misguided, but he couldn't see his friend die.
I've got to say though, that is quite a dramatic fall, mate, when you got shot. Well, acting for that.
I hope there was a crash mat there.
Yeah, because he really threw himself into that, did he?
It's too late. Omega controls the Matrix.
See, I don't think this tune sounded like the cat. That's like Sylvester's era.
Well, the cat's more or less like Capaldi's, the screeching.
Well, yeah, but I'm sorry, that McCoy intro has got
that's what we call
cat.
That's what we call a vocoder.
Do. Right, Omega controls the Matrix. End credits. So hold on, let me fucking load this crap up now and hope that fingers crossed and all of that crap. Jesus, listening to me prayers. Yo, man, need a solid from you there.
Should we give you like a head start or something?
No. What we on? Episode what?
Episode 4.
Episode 4.
Episode 4. Right, episode 4.
The credits are still rolling.
Right, well, yous can have the credits still rolling there, buddies, and I will do it my way, because by the time yous all start, buddies, and stuff, I'll be fucking, like, behind just by about 5 minutes.
Kazoo's on standby, says PD Rich.
So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to press ahead, because Lee is right, because more than likely I will skip. So I'm pressing play right now. But
Yeah,
when
you might as well
are
go
ready-
towards the end of the theme tune or something.
Right. So when you guys are all ready, Charlotte will do the yogi, but I'm already on the team now.
Yeah, so I'll keep an eye on the chat right now and see when we get quite a few on.
There you go.
Yeah, I see 3.
That'll do.
Yeah,
That'll
I think this story is a Sadako. I agree with you. I think people have been harsh on this story, actually. I don't think it's as bad as people have made this out to be. I've actually I'm
I've
more
always thought this is
annoyed
a
because
classic.
I have to keep skipping little 2-minute segments because it keeps bloody pausing on me. But other than that, I'm really enjoying this story.
Yeah, I think the story's well written. It's very gripping.
Yeah, it does drag a little bit, but other than
Yeah.
but it still though.
I think it dragged in the second episode, which is unusual because it's usually like the third episode where you feel it's dragging. But I think it's pulled it back up.
The second episode kind of dragged out a bit, but the third episode it picked up again, and this episode now, I mean,
Well, it's because they've got the Omega, like now he's free, isn't he? And so you've got like a good cat and mouse thing that he was like in the background and now he's free. So it's a very good way to naturally ramp up your tension and your sort of action.
Yeah.
Are we ready? Because I saw
Yeah.
a few ones before.
Yeah.
Okay. 5,
Go.
4,
Go.
3,
Go.
2,
Go.
1,
Go.
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 right, do you know what? No, you're gonna laugh. So I put this on because I anticipated that it would actually start buffering.
And it's not.
Yeah, so far it hasn't. No.
Bloody sod's law,
I'm
isn't
actually quite. See what I mean? I thanks for doing us a solid, by the way. See, it works. Apparently, it works. So.
No, I've got a feeling some of the bad rep for this episode is if people just don't like Gallifrey heavy stories.
No,
Just to be, like, it is one of
I don't
those.
think it is though. No, I don't think it's even that though. I think it's because a lot of people just don't like JNT and they didn't like Eric. There was a lot of and there was problems, as you know, like behind the scenes. So I mean, I think some of it, you're even seeing it today. I mean, for example, Phoebe Waller-Bridge was cast in Indiana Jones, right? Now already people have come out and slammed the movie before it's even start filming.
Okay, can I ask, is she going to be in Indy?
Nobody knows what character she's playing in the movie, but people have already jumped the gun. Oh, she's going to be replacing Harrison Ford's Indiana Jones. This is going to be woke rubbish. You don't even know. It hasn't even been filmed yet. See, I'm noticing a lot of this now. People are slamming stuff, right, before they even see something, right? Because if an actress gets cast or an actor gets cast because they don't like them or
Yeah,
they
but I'm
think,
slagging off season 13 because it's gonna be shit.
Well, no, I agree with what you're saying. No, I do think there is some jumping at shadows. But when it's an actress like Phoebe, who is a known activist, basically, I think that's where some of it's coming from. Like, if it's actors...
I get that, but again, we haven't seen the context of what she's going to be in the movie, what part she's going to play.
Oh yeah, she could be nothing in the movie. You don't know.
Listen, this is what I'm saying. If you want to complain, wait until you find out who she's going to play. Wait until you see a trailer, or wait until you see the goddamn movie before you start slating this and say, well, I'm not going to watch because she's in the movie. Like, is this where we've gone as a fandom now? Like, it's ridiculous. Like, wait until you see it. Like, I'm not impressed by the Ghostbusters Afterlife little teaser that they threw out. That still doesn't mean that the movie isn't going to be great. It could be still a brilliant movie. I just don't like that particular little scene. But I've seen something that I don't like. These people haven't even seen a bleeding photograph of a costume.
Oh, no, yeah. No, I agree. I think it's definitely we'll have to see who she's playing to actually start to properly have warning bells. But like I said, there is just some actors right now.
I know, I get you.
Are incredibly loud about their politics. So whenever their name's brought up for anything, it just gets people's backs up.
Yeah, no, I get where you're coming from. I do. I can see that point of view as well. But we have to be very careful that we don't become like the other side and just rag on everything before we even see anything, you know? Because that's what separates us from them. We're supposed to take the diplomatic approach. They're the ones that rag on everything. We're supposed to wait until we see evidence and stuff before we start commenting on stuff. But lately, I'm just seeing that everybody is just, they're hating on stuff. They're coming out with ridiculous claims, never back it up, by the way. And it's just getting annoying now at this stage. I think people just need to stop. Just wait until you see something first. And if it's crap, then we'll all come out and say it's crap. But nobody knows. Here's people, it's going to be worse than Crystal Skull. I'm telling you now, nothing will be worse than Crystal.
Oh no, nothing will be worse than that movie.
Now, aliens had no fucking business being in an Indiana Jones fucking movie in the first fucking place, right? And the special effects in it were over the fucking top, right? The reason why we're getting this movie is because they want to rectify the mistakes that they made in the last one when this was all announced, right? This is their goal. They want to end the indie franchise on a high. So, listen, I wouldn't jump the gun yet. We don't know what Phoebe's role is yet. Now, if it turns out that she is playing something and she ends up taking over, then you have every right to complain. But right now, nobody has a right to complain about that. And yeah, you can complain that she's being cast, but you don't know what she's going to be in. So don't criticize the whole movie because of an actress. Just wait until you see it. Then you can make up your mind. You never know. She could surprise you all. And actually be good in the movie. To be honest, you never know. She could be playing his love interest. We don't know. Remember, he always has a love interest in the bloody movies. So she could be his love interest. I know it's a bit of a weird one, but
a bit of an age gap.
Well, it doesn't matter. Hollywood doesn't mind about that. You just see all the time in Hollywood films, an older actor always plays opposite side a younger actress. Point in case, Bill Murray with Scarlett Johansson in that bloody movie that they did years ago that won loads of awards. Sure, how old was she when she was in that movie with him? And that movie was quite, out there. So it happens all the time. That's one thing Hollywood has actually been slammed for, actually, by these woke people. They always seem to pair an older actor with a younger actress, but they don't do it the other way around, an older actress with younger actors. It's not very often, because it is true in Hollywood. Women get to a certain age in Hollywood and the roles kind of do dry up, but for blokes it's kind of different. Well, that kind of needs to change. We'll see what happens anyway. I'm not going to slam something that I haven't seen yet anyway. I'll wait. I just think, right now, Star Wars fans, no matter what gets announced, whether it's Indiana Jones or Star Wars right now, because they don't like Kathleen Kennedy, and they're justified. They are justified. I'm not going to say they're not. They are justified, but I think they're letting their emotions get the better of them when it comes to this Indiana Jones movie. We don't know that yet. In fairness, I will say this. I don't know why they're making another one, because Harrison Ford is 70 odd now, nearly 80. like leave it out, man. You know, the guy. Why do you want them to do? Like he's brought him back for Han Solo, and then he's killed them off because he wanted to kill that character off. Does he want to kill off Indiana Jones? Because if he does, I would have a problem with that. You know, the perfect ending for me was the
Last Crusade.
The Last Crusade, exactly. That iconic scene where they're on the horses and they ride off into the sunset. That's where it should have fucking ended. But Hollywood, as usual, in their wisdom, oh no, let's make another one. And now let's make another one. Right? That Crystal Skull, the very start of that, where he gets into that lead fridge when there's a nuclear fucking test going and that fridge blows up into the air and it lands and he crawls out of it and there's nothing fucking wrong with him. That's when I knew this film was going to be shit.
I knew as soon as they announced Shia LaBeouf.
He's a good actor. He gets a lot of stick. I've seen in films with Tom Hardy that he's brilliant in.
Yeah, but this was before he did those films, mate. He didn't do anything really good before. Like his biggest profile stuff was Transformers at that stage.
Yeah, I don't like that franchise. You know, Transformers.
Anyway, back to Who. Some lovely Amsterdam filming.
Yeah, I was reading something about that because there was concerns about the budget and they had to try justify. There was something about having to justify filming there or something. So yeah, I never read the rest of it because then I got distracted. Sorry.
Well, J&T liked his locations, didn't he? If he could get a holiday, or if he could go somewhere non-British, he seemed to like to do that.
Yeah, people say that all the time, that he did all that just to get a holiday. I know that's been one of the things that have been flying around for years. I mean, even if that was the case, you know, I mean, he still produced some. He still produced. He's the producer when they produce some good stories as well. Like his era is not a complete write-off. Like, you know, so you have to give him a little bit of credit. But I do agree with you, Charlotte, when you said I don't know how anybody thought that after seeing Colin Baker in this. Like, I do find that baffling. I mean, he does play a good he'd play a good villain. I mean, he has the temperament for a villain.
Yeah, just he'd be.
It was great in his earlier Big Finish stories. He actually became one of my favorite doctors in the audio dramas. But I think on TV he's so jarring, you know. I think he was the Jodie Whittaker of his time, you know. Yeah,
he divided the opinion, all right. That's what I mean. See, this is what the other fans don't realise. Colin Baker, this was the same thing was happening in the fandom. There was a lot of supporters of Colin Baker, and then there was a lot of people that didn't like him, and there was supporters of the showrunner, and then there wasn't supporters. I mean, you're right. It's history repeating itself. And we should have learned from past, but we haven't, because you see, well, they haven't, because if you see what's happening now, I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, you can't even talk about the show anymore.
A bit body horror going on with Omega there.
Oh yeah.
Do you like the old what you call it, prosthetics? Is that what they call them?
Yeah, that would be the.
Daniel says, I loved Amsterdam when I was there. Lovely city. Yeah, I've only ever been once, but it's
what were you doing in Amsterdam? What was Daniel
with Daniel, you don't want to know half the time. Even I don't
know what he was doing in Amsterdam. He was probably over there watching a Celtic match.
We know what he was doing. He was getting high as a kite and picking up hookers from the red light district.
He was probably in the Amsterdam arena. He was probably watching Celtic versus Ajax or something, or some other team from Holland. Who else is there in Holland? That's Jesus. Do you know? I don't really know many teams in the Dutch league. except for Ajax because they're the most popular ones because they always qualify for stuff. But he was probably over there. Let's see what he says. I reckon it was a football match. Oh, it was a scout summer camp. Okay, I was wrong. Okay, I'll shut up.
Not as exciting.
Is that Scouts Honor, Daniel? Scouts Honor? You were just over there for a scout summer camp? Did you get to visit the stadium actually while you were over there? Because that would have been pretty cool. Me and Daniel had a lovely chat a few weeks back about football. It was nice. I even made a prediction that a certain bloke would be the manager, and I think I might be right because it sounds like that guy is a choice that they want. So. Yeah.
And we have double, like Julie just said in the chat, double Davidson.
It's so weird with the Omega's voice coming
out.
It
is, isn't it? Especially as Big Finish basically carried this story on. They did a follow-up. And I won't say too much because it's a very interesting premise. But the follow-up definitely plays with that concept more of Omega using...
Oh, is that the one? Yeah, I know the one you mean. Yeah. That was so confusing at first.
Yeah,
like,
God, the first time, and then that's one of those Big Finish that you have to listen like 3 times.
Yeah, that had you going all the way, didn't it? All the way through it.
But wasn't Davidson amazingly? Once you clicked what the premise was, it really showed how much he's advanced and got better with Big Finish.
Yeah, I've been doing a bit of a Peter Davison listen along more recently because I've kind of not given him much ear time, I think, so I wanted to correct that.
I was going to say, how do you find that then? Because I really do love him on Big Finish.
Yeah, some of his stories are great. I really didn't get on very well with that oik they picked up. The kid from 2.4 Children.
Oh, I've not listened to all of the stuff yet, so I think I've not listened to that stuff.
I mean, I find Nissa a bit underwhelming. Sounds like she's reading the script, and I think the whole point if you're doing audio is that you don't sound like you're reading the script. Not in everything, but
unfortunately, what you're going to get is that people like ourselves that their acting isn't the greatest, but they manage to get a job on Doctor Who. When it does come to doing the audios, you're absolutely right. I mean, this will be the interesting thing now when we hear Christopher Eccleston.
You see the kid looking Tegan up and down.
Or is he going to play it like as if he was going to be playing it on screen? Because you are right. You can't, if you're just saying the words and you're not getting into it, then it will come across as you just reading off a script. And I think, unfortunately, that is the case with a lot of these older actors now. They're older now. They haven't done much television work since Doctor Who, many of them. And they've gotten a chance to do Big Finish. And, they haven't been the greatest actors or actresses in the world. And it comes across now. It's the way it is.
Sometimes, acting on TV is different to acting from an audio script where you've got the script in front of you. You don't have to learn the lines. And that does make a difference. Not every actor can sight read.
No, yeah. It's an interesting one, the audios, because, when they get it spot on, and I'm not just talking about Doctor Who, I'm talking about audios in general. When they get it spot on, you get the sound effects behind, you have the people that are supposed to be playing the parts, and you're convinced that if you close your eyes, that was on TV, you can visualize everything. That's what I think an audio should do. If you can't visualize it, in your head while you're listening, well, then it's not doing its job. So, and you're right. If you're just reading off a script and you're not getting into it, you know, it's going to come across, and you're not going to be able to get into it.
Turlo, the guy, Turlo is sounds just like Turlo did in the 80s.
Yeah,
that's good, you know.
What about Tom Baker? I've listened to one or two of his. Now, I've been kind of quietly impressed. I've actually, believe it or not, I've listened to a lot of Colin Baker audio, and I will say this, for people saying that he's better on Big Finish, I would have to absolutely 100% agree with that. But you know, obviously he's always just going to be remembered for the TV show and how that all went down, and refusing to come back, rightly so, I think. You know, people still criticize him to this day for that. I don't. You know, why would he come back? You know, the way he was treated.
Well, Daniel's asking me if
the late 80s was a disaster.
Daniel's asking me if I've tried Shadow of the Daleks. There's so many Dalek stories. I tend to avoid them because I tend to put it on last thing at night, and the last thing you want is Daleks ringing in your ears.
Yeah, I find that with some of the Cybermen voices when I listen.
And they're sometimes really hard to understand, you know.
Yeah, they are, aren't they? So I adore Spare Parts. I've probably raved about it so many times, but there is bits even in that I'm like, oh, there's a lot of Cybermen talking all at once.
Yeah. So Shadow of the Daleks, I'm not sure. Is that a Fifth Doctor story, Daniel?
Yeah, it was released last year, I want to
say. I've sort of gone more back towards the start. So,
so that's the way, yeah.
And on this now, if you notice, you got the double instead of Peter Davison.
I was going to ask, was this Davidson or a double?
No.
It's not even close.
No. But fair enough, you know, he's disintegrating, his face is changing. Maybe it's kind of like a weird attempt to regenerate, maybe. And he says like Ginger.
I can say he sort of looks like Peter Davidson if he was Hulk.
Yeah, I mean, the hair colour's completely, you know, different.
See there, it was justified what the Doctor did.
Yeah.
Times when he does things that are justified, and you can reconcile yourself with it. Like it was either Omega or the universe. So what would you choose? You would choose the universe.
And he's given Omega multiple chances
exactly
throughout this whole second half.
This is Ian Collier.
Christopher Eccleston, his first appearance when he was at the Nest Inn, when Rose says to me, "You're going to throw the blue stuff," he goes, "No, I have to give them a chance." So again, it kind of carried the whole thing like he does. Just get in the TARDIS with her and stop being less of a man. But we know how it goes.
Yeah, and I do think I've always had the little like fan theory in my head that.
Oh, he wasn't pleased there though, was he? When she says you're stuck with me.
And no, the face he pulled.
The face he pulled.
It's like, oh great.
He wasn't impressed at all. I love you all.
Yeah, but a little like fan theory that I've always had is like in Classic, you did have, like you said, that side of I'm going to give it a chance. I'm not going to destroy straight away. And I've always thought that the Time War, just because he saw so much destruction and he was responsible for so much destruction, that sort of innate thing of wanting to give things a chance got multiplied. And that's why sometimes in New Who, it's like, why are you even doing the chance thing for some aliens that he gives it to?
Right. Hold on, just listening to the
And they leave it open, don't they? Right there. On his way back to Lisbon, even though he's been trying clearly to stay illegally in Europe, he doesn't want to go back.
Right.
She got the sack. Surprise, surprise.
So it seems.
Don't you need to be sort of like polite and happy all the time as a air hostess?
I think the Doctor really wanted to be Vanessa in this.
Yeah,
I mean,
he really did.
I mean, he didn't really want to have the hassle of Tegan. I mean, it's just a surprise that she came back, but he just wanted just to be alone with one companion, and that was it.
Yeah, because it works better. I just don't get that decision. He clearly works better with one companion.
And that was the mistake that John Nathan Turner had made, because he just brought in a load of companions for Tom Baker's leaving, and then for the rest of the season, and then Adric get killed off, and then Tegan departed, and it was just like bringing a lot of companions back together.
Do you know what I think it is? Do you know what I think it is? And this has parallels to the other fella now, right?
Yeah.
I think he chose his doctor, right? He decided to go with a young doctor. And I think deep down, he was a little bit insecure about it, but did it anyway because that's what he wanted to do. And I think, like Chris Chibnall, there was a bit of a backlash when Peter Davison was announced. And I think that wounded him, just like what happened to Chris Chibnall. Now, the difference is, obviously, is JNT and his writing team did manage to give us some great Peter Davison stories, unlike the era that we have today. But there's a lot of parallels, man. There's a lot of things that I see that happened JNT that's mirroring what's happening with Chibnall. I think Chibnall was the same. He went with his female doctor. I don't think he believed there would have been. I think he believed there would be a slight backlash, but I don't think he realised how much this actually meant to everybody. Like the fact that they changed the gender. And I think it took him by surprise. And I think it was the same with JNT with Peter Davison. And I think ever since then, both showrunners were questioning themselves. And this is why you kind of get JNT's uncertainty in certain things and the uneven, era. But Chris Chibnall's gone the opposite way. Obviously, he hasn't produced that, and I think worthy enough to be, even it won't be remembered. This era won't be remembered anyway. JNT's at least is, because he has some good stories, but Chibnall's won't disappear. But there's a lot of similarities, and it's quite startling. But let's get into the review, obviously, of this wonderful.
I just wanted to add to that, I think, as well, that maybe there might be some writing issues that required there to be another companion in order for particular stories to work. So maybe that's why they thought
that could be in the case as well. And that's a good point. Yeah, I'm glad.
Especially with Snake Dance.
Yeah, which is actually the next Peter Davison story. Right.
He told to be possessed. It's got B. Tegan.
Let's get into this here's the old reviews. So we'll start with ladies first, because I know Charlotte will have to head off soon. So Charlotte, go ahead and let everybody know what you thought of the story and your rating out of 10.
Yeah, I think this is a really good classic. Like I don't understand. I'm like you, just sort of some of the bad rep it's got. I honestly think it's a mystery plot done well. It's a bit of a mystery box, if you want to use that more common term nowadays, a little bit. And it uses Gallifrey, I think, rightly. It does, for me, it doesn't come across as too much revealing, like behind the curtain or showing the Time Lords. I can see the sort of imperialism they were trying to do But like I said, not everybody's a villain. Like, not every Time Lord is depicted as sort of just bad, which I think if you want to do that sort of based on imperialism or hierarchy or all those sort of ideas we were throwing about, you have to show that there is still good apples there. You can't just tarnish everybody. I really like Davidson with one companion. For me, this should have been the massive wake-up call to the producers and all the people to say, yeah, we're going to just do Davidson now with just one companion for his last bits of his era, sorry, because he bounces really well off one companion. And Omega, I think Omega's a very good sinister presence. He's not there too much. He's in it enough, and his sort of plan is done by his own arrogance, which I also think suits the character quite well. So I'm sort of going between it. This might shock a few people, an 8 or a 9. I'm going to say 9. Honestly, I really enjoyed this one, so I'll go 9.
Oh, fantastic. Lee, would you like to give your thoughts, mate?
Yeah, I rewatched this a few months ago and really enjoyed it because it was one that I remember very, very vividly as a kid, and and watching it again at high school with my Doctor Who club and loving it then, and loving Omega and loving the lore and the mythos, all this stuff that they so ardently seem to want to destroy because that's how you make the show survive, apparently. And I think it's a tour de force. Peter Davison is one of his finest performances. Great ensemble cast. Tegan, she's all right. She's Nissa's kind of there. Yeah, I like the story. I like the plot. I think it's engaging. I think it's one of its better ones. I'll give it. I'll give it a 9. There we go. I'm feeling generous.
Wow. 2-9 so far, and it's getting some pretty good scores in the chat as well. Guys, I forgot to say this, but I did write it there. Everybody that hasn't given their rating so far, if you just want to throw your rating up, that'll be fantastic. Sadako says 6, but subject to review. Okay, we go with Real Super Doctor next.
I would give it a 9 out of 10. I think it's a really good Peter Davison story, and I mean they've a real attempt to push the boundaries between the Time Lords again, and introduce them as this kind of corrupt democracy in space. And like when the Doctor arrives, he just knows that he's in for some trouble. I mean, they know that they're in for some trouble as well, and the Doctor democratically handles it very well, and the companion played by Sarah Sutton as Nissa. I mean, she has a lot to do in it, and it just shows you that one companion with the Doctor really works, and it helps to move the story forward because you don't have to keep separating scenes with companions, multiple companions like in New Who. You don't really need to have that. You need to have direct dialogue between Doctor and companion. You have to have that kind of relationship because the Doctor is the lead of the show, and this really works well. You've got the villain, the main villain in it, who is obviously Omega, and at first you really didn't know who the main real villain was in it because you had this Time Lord with his back turned to you all the time, and you seen it from scene to scene. And then by a few scenes later, you actually got to kind of suss it out who was behind all this and who was conspiring with Omega to bring him into the universe, our universe. And what was interesting is the fact that you really didn't know the outcome of it for the Doctor, and And when eventually, when Omega had brought him into the Matrix, you kind of wondered what the real goal was. That the goal was really going on. But the interesting things are is how Omega had a TARDIS, how Omega managed to build a TARDIS in an antimatter universe, and how did he manage to get the materials and, of course, the slave labor to build such a device. But even though he does have the knowledge of how to build the TARDIS, is because it was Omega that founded the Gallifreyan time travel experiments. And when the black hole went supernova and became that's the collapsed star that had became a black hole, and ensued into that antimatter universe. So he was basically lost for all that time. But it's coming back all the time. Even in the Three Doctors was very sinister. You know, he always had a goal, and it was always involving the Doctor. For some reason, that the Doctor in the past mythology, that could have been this other. Now, I'm not going to delve into the Chibnall era. That's not. It's the mystery that surrounds the Doctor and his involvement with the Time Lords, and in the past, and how he had known Omega and all that, and you know, it's very interesting as well when you come to think about it. And with Omega being in this other universe and trying to cross over into this universe, and trying to make himself re-establish himself, as it were, as a Time Lord. Maybe he wanted to go back to Gallifrey and sort Gallifrey out, because Gallifrey had been corrupted. And there's always sides to Omega that we have never has been explored, because I think Omega is really a good type of Time Lord. He's not a corrupt Time Lord, because come to think about it, the only insanity that Omega had is because of the fact that he had been stuck in that universe for so long, the antimatter universe for so long, and that he basically lost himself in that universe. But when Omega does eventually come back, it's not to wreak revenge or havoc against anything. So basically, when he comes back as the Peter Davison clone, as it were, and he goes into the street, and you know that this Time Lord has compassion and mercy and all of that. He's not a villain at all. It's just like you can see him, like he's enjoying this child's kind of, it's like a kind of musical display and all that, and the child watches and the child smiles to him, and then he smiles back. You can see that this being is not at all bad. He's really got good intentions, and well, that's the kind of thing the character of Omega really is. He's not really a bad type, a Time Lord. And the other thing is that the reintroduction of Tegan, I think, is a big mistake. But for later stories, the need for Tegan to come back was to just kind of bring in the conclusion to the Mara story for Snake Dance, so that Christopher Bailey, who wrote the Kinder, had probably just wanted to bring a conclusion to that Mara saga and just end it there and then, which I think was just at the point that it needed to be. But if you just had one companion with the Doctor, it would have worked for the rest of the Peter Davison era. But when we saw Perry getting involved with the Fifth Doctor, that you kind of saw that you wanted the Fifth Doctor to carry on for a little bit of while, so that he can evolve as the characters, they can evolve further and all that with the Fifth Doctor and that, and maybe a wee bit more successful, because Peter Davison had been in the role for about kind of 4 years then. But as you can see, that Peter Davison and Sarah Sutton, they have a relationship, a kind of character relationship going on, and I think that the introduction of Tegan just kind of upset that again. It just put the too many companions with the Doctor back again. But overall, this episode series is very good. It's very enjoyable. It's very gripping. It just raises a lot of Time Lord questions as well. And when you get to reveal that it was Goth that was it Hedden that was behind it, well, you can actually see that you know that there are nasty Time Lords out there and conspiring for power and control, and that's basically what it is. They can be tempted by power and control, and they can actually die as well. You can see that when Taylor got shot. You can see that unless Taylor was not a Time Lord. But with 5 Doctors, you see the Castellan getting shot in the 5 Doctors. So Time Lords can get killed basically, and they can't regenerate. So there's loads of concepts in this episode that lots of questions still to be answered, and it leaves a lot of things undone. But at the end, when Omega died and went back into the antimatter universe, the fact is it still leaves the door open for his return, and the Doctor did not kill him, because he knew that by sending Omega back into the antimatter universe, that Gallifrey would have been free from that. So the Doctor has basically been covering up for Gallifrey, basically. But we really don't know what Omega's real motives was. As I said before, that Omega could have went back to kind of basically undo what Rassilon had done with the Time Lords and Time Lord Society. So you really don't know. Omega could have reformed the Time Lords and make them less corrupt. So we just don't know these things. So I do give it a 9 out of 10. It's a very intelligently written episode.
Fantastic. Cyber Matt Strike says, I still don't get Hedden's motivation, just respect for Omega, question mark. But let's ask Omega Angel, changed their name again, what they thought of the episode.
I'm going to have to bounce, I'm afraid.
Why? Have you got a prior engagement somewhere else now?
Oh.
Is that what it is? So you come here, use me, and then feck off? I'm only messing. Who are you on with tonight?
Sloppy seconds, don't worry about it.
I'm only messing. Who are you on with tonight? Let people know so they can, if they want to go over and listen to your rant.
Yeah, well, you'll catch me over at Cockney Spock's channel if you want to come over there. Daniel will probably come and join us over there. It's in the chat. And he's going to be on there at some point next week, I believe. What else? Yeah, I'll also be appearing on Daniel's channel for a second time, I may add, on Tuesday. Mad Fool wants me back. I can't help that, you know. Can I say?
I know. They're just pubs a bit of no, but look. That he'll bring me on when he's ready. But I can understand why he doesn't want to bring me on right now, because let's be honest, these idiots just are relentless, and
yeah,
so
they are so like the Cybermen.
I know that people out there that have other channels as well are reluctant to bring me on because of all this shit. That's fair enough. That was always going to happen with these people. So it's like, you know, these stands just they've done so much damage. It's unbelievable. But you know, we'll
Yes,
keep
they've got a lot
going.
of growing up
He's
to
ready
do.
to bring me on anyway. As I said, yeah, feck you and your 2 times on his channel, right? I'll have the record for the most views when I go on.
Terrible. So yeah, that's it. You can find me on Twitwats and stuff.
Right, so he's on Cockney Spock. Check him out. Daniel will be in the chat, and then he'll be appearing on Daniel's channel, and Daniel will be on Cockney's channel at some stage. And Daniel does join us tomorrow for some new Who. So that'll be fantastic. So he's joining myself, and hopefully, I see PD Rich is in the chat. So hopefully, PD Rich, Daniel, and myself will be doing new Who. By the way, back to the story. I'm just going to be brief and just give this a 9 out of 10 and let Alpha Omega give
and I'll wish you all a very good night.
Omega Angel. See, he changed the name so many times. We'll let Lee go now because Lee is off to
slut around.
To slut around as he does. And we'll see you soon, pal. We'll see you soon.
Will do, mate. See you later, guys. Thanks, everyone.
Have a good
Bye-bye.
one. Have a good one.
Bye.
Right, now we'll get Omega Angel to give their review. I'm only messing. I'm only taking the piss. Listen, I know people will bring me on when they want to bring me on. But right now, you know, I kind of get it. It's no big deal. Listen, it's no big deal. At the end of the day, you know, if people don't want drama, right? And what sometimes does happen is I'll bear on someone's channel and then they'll get drama for bringing me on. So right now, you know, until the dust settles, you know, people are a bit hesitant, and that's fine. It's fine. It'll soon work itself out as it always does. Remember, guys, these people out there that harass this channel and say nasty things about this channel, they haven't succeeded in 3 years. Like, they might have got the perception out there that this channel is toxic, but we're still here. We're still fighting the good fight. We're still doing our watch-alongs. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And anyway, Daniel and Cheryl will be kicking it off on the Irish Geek soon as well. So, you know, your our channel, people have come onto that. Even people that won't come onto this channel will go on to that channel, because it's obviously a different channel and it's not, you know, it's a new channel, so they can't really say anything about a new channel. And then if you look at it, it's not a toxic channel. We do fun stuff on the channel, so which we do on this channel. But again, you know, because the Doctor Who fandom is a bit crazy, you know, it's a completely different animal. But back to Omega Angel for his rating, and we'll see what he has to say. So go ahead.
You sure?
Oh yes, I'm sure.
Okay.
No, I'm good. I'm good. Go ahead.
Well, everything after everybody else is going, and I'm last as usual. There's not much to say. So, as far as reviewing,
But I think Real Super Doctor covered it all anyway for everybody. I mean, he made some points that I would have made, and I'm pretty sure he's done the same for you. So, whatever you want to say about.
Well, I mean, it was written by Johnny Byrne, and he's sort of a hit or miss writer. He did Keep Her Tracking, but he also did Warriors of the Deep. But I think he did pretty good with this show, introducing Omega back into the, you know, a good story to bring a classic character like that back.
Yeah.
And like I said, things have been covered, everybody. So I'll just go with my rating, and I'll give it an 8.
An 8. Fantastic. So we've had literally 8s and 9s all the way through, and a couple of 7s. That's actually fantastic for a story that I've seen going over all the reviews that was actually slated by a lot of people. That's quite surprising. But there you go. I think when you watch these again and you look back, sometimes some of these stories don't seem as bad as they did when you first watched them. And maybe if you haven't revisited it in a couple of years, sometimes when you do, you find that, oh, this is actually better than what I thought it was. And that's what I got, you know. And I have to be honest, watching it, and reading what I was reading, I just can't understand the disdain for this story, because there actually is proper disdain for this story out there as well as the negative reviews. It's quite, actually, it was quite shocking to see, to be quite honest with you, because it's the kind of thing that we see every day in the fandom now, when these others go after, you know, that kind of ferocity. I was like, what the hell? People actually really don't like this. But it was a great listen. For me, it was truly enjoyable. The thing that annoyed me is I'll have to do what Charlotte said. I'll have to watch it again because it did buffer in some parts. And as you seen, I wasn't really saying much because I was genuinely enjoying this story. So yeah, that's it. Yeah. So as I said, I gave it a 9, didn't I? Yeah, a 9 out of 10. So that's brilliant. Yeah. So we got New Who tomorrow. As I said, it's the Doctor's daughter. It's actually Daniel loves that story apparently. Um, for me, it's a decent story. It's a fun kind of romp kind of thing. I do love the parts with Martha Jones because again, you know, Martha Jones, like God love her, like she's literally just settled down with Una. Everything in her life is kind of, you know, gone great. Then she gets whisked off in the TARDIS. Then she ends up on the hat side, right? And then she has to go through basically a bog, a swamp, to get to the other side to try help the bloody Doctor. Again, she's amazing. Martha Jones as a companion, um, so underrated in my opinion. But this isn't a bad story. I didn't like the whole at the time. I'll admit it. I didn't like the whole thing where the machine took his DNA and then here was this echo of a Time Lord. And David Tennant's Doctor's reaction to it is exactly the reaction I had. Well, she's not his real daughter. That's belittling his real family, you know, that sort of way. But you do grow to like this character, Jenny. And then you can see, because it's acted very well by David Tennant's future wife, you do get to see that she does have some of the traits that her father has. And you do buy it then, you know. It's just a pity at the time that when she flies off in that rocket or that spaceship, that they never thought that this would be a great idea for another children's spin-off with Jenny. Could have very easily done it, and they could have had a female-led Time Lord show with the Doctor's daughter, The Adventures of Jenny. You know, they could have done something like that, but they didn't at the time. Obviously they did, like obviously they had Torchwood and stuff, but still, and the Sarah Jane Adventures. But I think they could have added onto that if they were really smart. And I think listen, I've watched her in stage. She's actually a great actress. And her and David Tennant acting together are actually great as well, I have to say. But I do believe she should have got her own show. I still say that. They missed an opportunity there. So join us tomorrow for the Doctor's daughter, and you can let us all know tomorrow how you feel about that story. And as I said, we will have a nice little panel with us tomorrow. Guys, do you want to do a couple of shout outs before we finish up now?
Yeah. Subscribe to Daniel's channel.
Yeah. I was going to end actually with that. As you know, Daniel has come under the scrutiny of these people lately, and being targeted. So, you know, as we say, we're a community. We all know each other in this community. we all support each other in this community. So I'd ask you all to go and support Daniel, and how you can do that is by subscribing to his channel. And also he has his latest stream that's coming up on Tuesday, scheduled and up on his channel. I would also say send a message of encouragement. Let these people know that we stand behind them, because even in that, I've removed the comments, but that's where those sick, vile comments came from that I showed you all. I've removed the person, I reported them and then removed the person. But go in, I've left a little hashtag there. Go in and just show your support. And if you haven't subscribed to his channel, please do. He works really hard on his channel. He's built up a nice little following now. He has his own little community there. Well, we're all part of the same community, but you know, he's built up his own little thing there as well, and it's doing great. And he's got a great co-host in Charlotte as well there, and they'll have Lee on again. So go and check his channel out and support him, because as I said, he's one of the most decent guys out there, and these attacks on him are unjust. And it's quite, as I said, look, I've exposed these people over the last couple of weeks, what they're capable of doing and what they're prepared to do. So we stick together, especially people that we know and that are part of our community. We have each other's backs. So please go and subscribe to his channel and support them, please. I'd really appreciate that. Real Super Doctor, is there anybody else you would like to give?
Well,
What
subscribe
yourself?
to the TARDIS Zone.
Well, thank you for that. But where about yourself?
I've got a YouTube channel under Real Super Doctor, and I've got a Twitter account under Real Super Doctor.
Fantastic. Omega Angel. I have to keep forgetting his name. Sorry, mate. Is there anybody you would like to plug? And besides myself, Daniel, and the usual channels, is there a channel out there that you've been watching lately that you think deserves a bit of a shout out? Please go ahead and do that.
About Irish Geek.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, no, that's my second channel. Okay, the Irish Geek. Yeah, I suppose I should have told people about that, but thank you. Yeah, go ahead. Anybody else?
No, that's it.
Right. So he's basically plugging my second channel, but thank you, Alpha. Sorry, Omega Angel. But yeah, I do have a second channel. Check it out. Daniel will be on there. By the way, guys, some of you have sent us a lot of videos. Because we said to you that we'd like to react to some funny videos, and some of you have taken upon yourselves to send us some videos. So we will, I still have the videos there, thank you very much. We will watch them all, I promise. We will do them all. But we are going to get the stuff that we've already promised you out first before we do them. I think it's important because I have slacked on the Irish Geek a little bit. Unfortunately, all I'll just say is that right now, as we've kind of explained to you, that these marching, unfortunately now, it seems like April is not good months for Cheryl right now. And I've been, been kind of been dealing with that and looking after Ted and trying to, do streams on the TARDIS Zone and deal with all the other stuff. See, this is the thing. People don't realise I do have a personal life as well. Things are going on in that are out of our control, basically. And then I have all of this nonsense going on social media about the channel. And then at the same time, I'm trying to throw out some content that I think everybody will like and keep people informed. And yeah, I have slacked a little bit on the Irish Geek, but as soon as I reckon after this weekend we'll be fine because myself and Cheryl are determined to get out there, get a bit of fresh air.
It's fine. I think
it's the lockdown. Look, lockdown has everybody a bit frazzled, you know yourself. And it's hitting Cheryl a little bit harder than she even thought herself. And you know, so yeah, I know I don't have to explain, but because we built this little community, we're all friends here. I know I can tell you all this stuff and explain to you what's been going on, and you will understand because you are very understanding people. But you do deserve a little explanation because, you know, I did big up the Irish Geek and I haven't right now fulfilled what I said I was going to do. But I'm just letting you know I will get on top of it, and we will have all of those reviews that we have planned. And I will watch our funny videos, and we'll have a lot more. You know, as I said, Orville returns and everything. And I'm a fan of that show, so I will be definitely doing review panels and all if there's other fans of the Orville. So I have loads planned. I just, right now, as I said, timing's not right, but hopefully by the end of the weekend there'll be a fresh outlook, and then we'll be able to get things going. Right. Anyway, I've probably said all I need to say anyway, but thank you all for your support. It's meant a lot. Anyway, and Cheryl appreciates it as well. So I just want to get that out there as well. We both appreciate your support. Three of us, sorry, because Ted appreciates it too. I don't mention him, he gets grumpy. So yeah. So thank you. So subscribe to Daniel, subscribe to the Irish Geek, subscribe to the Real Super Doctor, and at some stage, Omega Angel will be throwing up some content. So I know he doesn't plug his own channel, but that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to plug his channel. Check out his channel. He has no content, but subscribe because he has said once he gets his computer sorted and stuff, he will eventually throw up some content. So I want you to subscribe to his channel. That's my shout out, channel shout out. And obviously Daniel is a given. And make sure that everybody's channel is up there, and make sure you throw your own one up as well, Daniel. Don't be shy. Throw it up as many times as you want. We want to get you as much support as possible. So right, we're done. Lads, do you just want to say good night? Do you just want to add anything? Do you just want to, I mean, there's not really else to add, I suppose, but is there anything you would like to say before we leave?
I was going to say something. It's the 10th of April today. It's it was the anniversary to the Titanic leaving Southampton to go to New York.
Yes, it was, and we already know, obviously, that that ship should never have left Southampton, and because now we know what we know, which is crazy to think that actually back in those days that safety wasn't a concern. There was literally a raging fire on it when it left Southampton, and they allowed that to happen, and then we know what happened. But yeah, actually, as it is, we will have to cover that as Super Doctor. Actually.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of things.
Do you know what we'll do? Actually, next week I'll try. Do you know what? Because on Thursday, I was bringing back the movie stream on Thursday. What I'll do is on Wednesdays on the third is zone now. It's become a bit of an empty slot. I don't know what to really do with it. So what I'll do is I'll actually go on the Irish Geek on Wednesday instead, and myself, and if you're around, Real Super Doctor, we can actually talk Titanic on Wednesday.
Yeah, I think Bolstrek is interested in the Titanic.
Yeah, well, I'll have a word with him as well then, and we'll have an hour discussion about. I'll see if he's available now because he's working. So I'll ask him. But yeah, if not, so you are. Look at Sunny is actually we got a lot of views when we start talking about the Titanic, and we were like 5 hours into a live stream, and the views start going back up again. So it seemed to be something that people did enjoy. So if you want a discussion on we're going to do it, but if you want to join us or our discussion, and you'll see how much of a fans we are of this ship. I mean, I'm obsessed with this ship, quite frankly. Um, the thing that pisses me off, and I said it the last time, and I'll say it now, the Olympic actually survived, right, and went on to go on for a few more years to do a little bit of service. Do you know what they did with the ship? Instead of preserving it, right? Instead of preserving it, like you think they would do, because historic ships that sank, the Britannic and Titanic, and this was the surviving sister ship. You think they would have, for history, keep this ship. They didn't. They sold it off for bloody scrap, and
Yeah,
it was destroyed. It was
but
destroyed.
it gave a lot of employment to poor communities.
I know, I get that. I really do. I really do. And I know there's a billionaire building a replica for the last 6 years, but I think it's actually being built now. But
Yeah,
a replica is not going to be the same. I'm sorry. It's not going to be the same. It's still good. The replica is going to have modern features because it needs to. I would have loved look. I mean, they were able to keep the Queen Mary, right? I mean, they even have go and check out the ship, the USS United States, right? It's an American cruise ship that they built, and it's bleeding lovely. That is rotten, right? It's
yeah.
actually still around today, and it's been left to rot in dry dock, basically. Um, and it's disgusting. Things like that from that time period, especially the 50s when all of these cruise ships were big, should have been preserved. I mean, they did it with the Queen Mary, they couldn't do it with the other ships. I mean,
See,
yeah, go
see,
ahead.
what I find sad about the Queen Mary is the fact that they have it as a museum
Yeah, and it does
at Long Beach,
That's
and
right, and it does ghost tours as well because it's
yeah,
supposed to be haunted. I
yeah,
know, yeah, it is actually sad, and they won't fix up their own ship. Like they have a great ship in the USS United States. You should see this ship when it was first sailed. There's pictures of it, video footage of it, and look at the state of it now. It's disgraceful. It is. It really is. I honestly am one of those that believe in preserving history, so it's a reminder, it's like that leaf on that tree that fell off uh when Clara's parents met. Do you remember when the leaf fell off the tree? It's like little
yeah,
things, and it's like it's it's a brief part of history that flutters away. If you blink, you miss it. And I think things like this need to be preserved. That ship now there is a conservation yoke, but they haven't been able to get the money up to save this ship. It's ridiculous. If that ship was over here in Ireland or was in the UK, and we were asked to give money to save this ship, there wouldn't be even any question, right? You know what Irish and British people are like. I mean, look what they did when they found the Mary Rose. How much the British public paid, and they didn't mind because it was this historic Henry VIII ship that they brought up from the ocean. They found it and they brought it up and they restored it to the best that they could. But they got a lot of it, and they learned a lot from that ship about how ships were built. So look, if it was in Ireland or England or the UK, it wouldn't even be a question of right asking people. People say, right, how much do you want? How much do you need to preserve this ship? And I think that's the difference in attitude. I don't think, no offense to me American pals, but I think when it comes to things like that, preserving shit like that, you would rather preserve war stuff, which I get. But things like that ship is an important part of our history. Cruise ships, that was an important time. Like the amount of Hollywood stars that use those ships, you know, it's unbelievable. Uh, rising stars of their era, and established stars were using these ships to cross the Atlantic for one thing and one thing only, just to drink and shop. That was it, and to have fun with the family. So yeah,
Well, they've got this HMS Caroline. Have you heard about it?
no.
It's a wartime ship down in Belfast, and they were supposed to have turned it into a museum, and basically they were going to put it in the Thompson Dry Dock down in Belfast, where the Titanic and Olympic was birthed in there when they were doing makeshift repairs to the Olympic. They were supposed to put the HMS Caroline in there and spend millions in it.
Well, yeah, I'd rather them just second, reserve the Olympic, and we would have an idea what the Titanic looked. We could go and visit. And
I was really kind of hoping they would have built a Titanic replica for the 100th anniversary of the Titanic instead of that
museum. Don't get me wrong. The building, it does look spectacular. It does. When you look at the angle that you're supposed to look at, it is. It shows you how big and massive this thing would have been at the time. But you're right. It's not the same. But listen, we could go on and talk about this.
Yeah, it does. It goes on.
We'll leave it till Wednesday because we'll have loads to chat about. And Alpha has actually left, so I want to say good night, Alpha. Thank you for being on the panel, pal. Really appreciate it. And Daniel, I'll see you tomorrow. And I don't know if PD Rich said, because I didn't see his comment, but if you did say you'll be here tomorrow, I'll see you tomorrow. And we'll be here for New Who. And Real Super Doctor, thanks also.
No bother.
And I will see you on Wednesday for our Titanic chat, and I will have a word with Mr. B and see if he's available for Wednesday. If not, it'll be me and you, and we'll have people in the chat because people are interested. Look, we still have people listening to us right now, so yeah. Okay, good night, folks. Here's the channel trailer, all done by Lee. Again, if you're looking for some rebrand or intros or outros for your channel, he is the one. He's actually working on a very special little thing for me as well for this stream that we're going to be doing to highlighting the situation with the fandom. So as soon as he has that done, he's under no pressure. So as soon as he has that done, I will announce the stream and we'll be going ahead with that stream. Okay, folks? Because I'm deadly serious about highlighting all of this nonsense and letting people share their experiences so fans and everybody out there can hear what is actually going on in fandom, and especially the Doctor Who fandom. And I think that's very, very important because it's affecting a lot of people's mental health. There are people right now, as I speak, attacking me on social media. And then what happens is their tweets generate retweets, and then a mob mentality, the usual thing. If there's a pile on. So right now that's happening. I'm just ignoring it because these people are not worth my time. But again, it's relentless. So we will be doing that stream and we will be talking about them. You already know my experiences, but I will talk about them again. I know there's a couple of people in the chat that want to talk about their experiences of what they've been put through. And a couple of people have already wrote to me. So if you don't want to come on air and talk about your experience being bullied by someone out there because of a different opinion or whatever it is, you can write to me on Messenger, or you can write to me on Twitter in the DMs. And if you want to be kept confidential, if you don't want your name to be read out on air, make that clear, because if you don't, I will read your name out, because I'll assume that you'll want me to read your name out, but you just don't want to come on air to do it. So I want to make that clear. So if you do send me a message, make sure that you tell me that if you want to remain anonymous, that's exactly what will happen, and you can trust me on that. Okay, Right, good night, folks. I'll talk to you soon. Real Super Doctor, Alpha Omega, Problem Being, and Queen Charlotte. Thank you for joining me tonight. You've all been brilliant, as usual. And Real Super Doctor, I'll see you on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it, man. Looking forward to it.
It's cool.
Yeah. I actually have me model that I still haven't built yet. I bought a Titanic model, believe it or not. I'll actually take a picture of it and send you the model that I got, and you can tell me what you think of it. I haven't built it now yet, but I'll send you a photograph now in a few minutes and show you the model I got.
No bother, no.
Yeah.
I'll give you advice in trying to build it. I mean, years ago, I think about 20 odd years ago, I built a Titanic model, but
this looks difficult. Oh man, I looked at the thing, right? So I went in and I bought, and I said, this will be easy. It'll just be a few parts here and a few parts there. But they literally break it all down, and they get you to build it straight.
I know, it is crazy.
Yeah, straight up like the way they would have built it. And I'm like, holy shit, I have to do that in plastic. Then I have to paint it all. Or do I paint all the parts first and then put it all together? This is me dilemma. Then I was looking for YouTube channels, right? that did this particular model, right? And the fucking stream goes on for over 5.5 hours, and it says, holy shit, I can't be arsed. I can't be arsed. See, I won't be able to do this over 5.5 hours. It's going to take me a couple of weeks, because I want to take me time with it and do it justice, you know? And I was like, I can't be asked to watch a 5.5 hour video just to figure out the main points so I don't screw this up. So yeah, man, if you have any advice, I'd really listen. But yeah,
so what you do first of all is you get the hull, and you just get the hull, and then sand it down, and then just glue the hull, and then just paint the hull, and then just cut out all the wee bits, and then paint all the wee bits, and then glue them together. And that's it.
Jesus, man, the Back to the Future car was easy enough. This thing, I'm telling you, man.
You don't want to mess it up.
If it looks quite similar to it by the time I'm finished, that's fine. I'll be happy enough with it. But I do
have to have loads of black thread to thread the funnel stays. And it's like you have to tie it in a wee knot and thread it right through every tiny wee hole around each funnel stay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy.
I know, I've seen the instructions. I know. It's mad. Right, but I'll show you a photograph, and and then on Wednesday, guys, when we do talk about it on the Irish Geek, I'll show you the one that I actually got as well. And maybe some of you can find us one exactly the same, and maybe we can do YouTube videos step by step or something. Obviously, I'll have to get a camera, but once I get the camera, I can do that. That'll be a bit fun. Actually, try build it live on streams. That'll be funny. Right, we'll leave it at that anyway. Good night. Thanks for watching as usual.
Good night.
And we'll see you soon, folks. Night. Stay safe. Enjoy your weekend. And yet, Daniel, it's 7 p.m. tomorrow. 7 p.m. tomorrow for the new Who. 7 p.m. Talk to you. Bye-bye.